combos and enjoy a true Southern classic. Oh, and don't forget the pepper.
Hey, Wreckin' Ram fans, that's right, I'm in Big D, and I don't mean Dallas, Dusson, Louisiana, where a dream became a destination. At Knox and Dusson, timeless family recipes get a personal twist. Every bite has Louisiana flavor, from plate lunches to specialty burgers, to po' boys, fresh seafood, both grilled and boiled. And every Thursday through...
Hey y'all, I'm here with Wreckin' Rams Production. I'm Dayton LeBlanc here with Coach Mo. How are you, Coach Mo?
Dayton, we're doing good. Glad to be here with y'all.
That's amazing. We had a great win against Karen Crow last week. What are your thoughts on the game?
It was a big win for the program. Moving on in the playoffs is always, that's the goal right now. 1 week at a time, we're just trying to focus in and win another one.
It's amazing. Our defense was really different from the beginning and the end of the season. What did you do to change that?
I think overall we didn't change a whole lot. It was a matter of the players that we have getting more comfortable with the things that we're doing on defense, running a new system than they had run in the years past. Took some time for them to get settled in, and as coaches, learning each other and learning the players as well. Week after week, we've found a little bit more rhythm and gotten better each week.
We're headed to New Orleans this week. How do you prepare defense for St. Augustine?
St. Aug is a great challenge. They've had a tremendous year already so far. They present a lot of problems on offense just with the personnel that they have. Some really good players. They do a great job with their scheme. They coach them up well. So for us, the preparation it's no different than any week. It's just more so about making sure that we get the guys ready to execute whatever the plan ends up being for us for Friday, that we get the kids ready to play to their best, making sure that it's simple enough to execute, but also have some things in the game plan that maybe complement what we do well and try to take away what St. Aug's doing well on offense.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Ram Nation and the people that show up every week and tune in on the live stream?
Yeah, I would just say, obviously, thanks for all the support this season. Last week's crowd versus Karen Crow was the best, one of the best atmospheres I've ever been a part of. So let's try and do that again this week on the road. Going down to New Orleans, we need everybody's support. And of course, to all the fans out there watching at home, and especially my friends and family tuning in every week, we appreciate y'all, and go Rams.
Thank you, Coach Mo. On to the game. Here's Nathan Cole.
The marching band is just fantastic. So I'm not sure what I'm going to expect from this game. For Acadiana to win the game, they're going to have to control the football. I mean, it's just going to have to be heavy doses of veer, heavy doses of run, because you're going to want to keep that explosive St. Aug offense off the field. So if Acadiana can do that, take care of the football, not give St. Aug any free possessions, I think they have a pretty good chance in this game.
Yeah, we talked to some of the coaches before the game, and they echoed those sentiments. If Acadiana is going to win this game tonight, it's going to be controlling time of possession and taking care of the football. And that's not just in tonight's game, Nick. That's the standard for the Veer machine, especially in playoff time. That's why this motto, playoff time, our time, you know, it comes together at the end of the year, and it's taking care of the football and keeping the offense on the field. I know Acadiana had their struggles the last couple of weeks with Carencro, but credit to Carencro and their coaching staff that are very familiar with the Veer. I'm hoping to have more success tonight against a team that is less familiar with our Veer machine.
That's right. Carencro knows how to defend the Veer, and we know that Carencro historically has had an opportunity to do that. We saw what happened with Southside against Carencro. We were like, man, Acadiana's going to come in and do what they're going to do running the football. It's not quite the case. Carencro very much familiar with stopping that Veer, a lot different than the wing tee that Southside runs. But, you know, when Acadiana came here, we were talking to Coach Dotson before the game. Acadiana came to New Orleans a couple of years ago in the state semifinals against a really strong Edna Carr team. And the reason why Acadiana won that game was running the football. They got the ball with about 8 minutes to go to end that game, and they just ran the ball down Edna Carr's neck, controlling it and taking care of the football, and that's how they were able to win the game. So if they're going to pull off an upset tonight of St. Aug, that's exactly what's going to have to do. You're right. It's the game plan every week, but it's more heightened in the postseason, especially when you're playing against an explosive team like St. Aug who could score a touchdown with one play. Keeping the ball in their hands is going to be paramount, and so hopefully Acadiana can get their game plan working with Colin DeBetta under center, with Tyler Martina taking his snaps. Controlling that football is going to be how Acadiana can win this game.
Well, again, we want to thank you, Ram Nation, for tuning in tonight. Round 2, your Wreckin' Rams taking on the St. Aug Purple Knights. We're going to go ahead and take a quick timeout, but stay tuned for more WRP here on YouTube.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready.
Let's get it.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. About 16 minutes to go before the game, and I guess, Nick, we'll just jump right on into it. Your Acadiana Wreckin' Rams 8-3 overall in the season, 3-5A district championship, of course, led by head coach Doug Dotson in his first year, offensive coordinator James Estes, and defensive coordinator Matt Moreau. Coach Dotson says St. Aug has a really good football team. There's no doubt about that. But I think we have a very good football team, too. We present problems for teams. And going to New Orleans, well, we've done that before. We're going to have to work, but we'll be ready. So love to hear that from Coach. And that's been the sentiments down in the, down on the field. We talked to a lot of coaches before the game. They are confident. They don't lack confidence, and they feel like they can, really match St. Aug's physicality on the field, which is, the Veer Machine brand of football. Last week, Acadiana had that 29-21 win versus number 19 Carencro to sweep Carencro in the 25 season. That is such a big goal in this program, is beating your rivals, so we were able to take care and do that. First off, I want to thank defensive back coach Caesar Trahan for some team info that we get from him every week. Of course, Caesar's a graduate of Acadiana High, former player, graduated in 2012, so a very proud alum, and he's excited to be the special teams and defensive back coach. Speaking of defensive back coaches, happy birthday to defensive back coach Braylon Tronhall. Man, him and his wife, I believe, bought a house this past week, so I want to congratulate him and wish him a happy birthday. Acadiana is currently ranked number 14 in the D1 Select Playoffs, and the winner of tonight's game will play number 6 Tioga or number 11 Rummel. No matter what, if Acadiana wins this game with the new rules, they will be on the road next week. If St. Aug was to win tonight, they would be the home team. 0-2 all-time against St. Aug. The last time we played them was in 1999 and 2000. We only played them twice in the school's history and lost to them both times. Let's go ahead and talk about the Veer Machine offense, averaging 35.2 points per game. Last week against Carencro, they had 316 total yards. They're led by quarterback Colin DeBetta, 5'10", 185. Last week he was 3 of 6 passing for 53 yards and a touchdown. He also had 8 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown as well. In the backfield is running back Troy Kinnerson, 5'6", 185. Last week he had 16 carries for 106 yards. On the side of him is running back Deion Simon, 5'8", 185. Last week he had 12 carries for 28 yards, but also had that big touchdown catch on that wheel route, 1 catch for 26 yards. Travis Gallion out wide. Travis the Train, he's 6'2", 205. Had a pretty productive week last week. 3 receptions for 34 yards and 3 carries for 43 yards. Wide receiver Ty Lamartina is going to be opposite him, 6 foot 200, a Northwestern State commit for baseball. Last week he was 1 of 4 passing with 7 yards and an interception, but he did have a rushing touchdown early in that ball game. Let's talk about the Terrible Turk defense, allowing 22.8 points per game. Last week they allowed 340 yards versus Carencro. 270 of that was through the air and 70 on the ground. They did also produce 4 sacks against the Golden Bears. The big news of the night, and if you haven't heard it, well, you're about to. The Terrible Turk defense will be without defensive end Darius McKinley tonight. He's a 4-star LSU commitment. He is inactive, and that is all we're going to say about that. But in the secondary, or excuse me, at that middle linebacker position, they will be led by Gavin Coleman, 6 foot 200, 2-year starter and a 2024 All-District selection. Last week he did have a sack against the Golden Bears. In the defensive backfield, free safety J.L. Malbrew, 5'10", 195. He's the defensive captain with multiple college offers. You'll also see strong safety Keon Leday, 5'8", 185. Last week had an interception against Carencro. And Travis Gallion at that cornerback position had an interception as well. One last thing I want to say, or really give a shout out to kicker and punter Josh Marquez with that impressive 42-yard field goal last week. He also had 3 punts for a 33-yard average. So he was phenomenal in those 2 games against Carencro and was really instrumental in flipping the field and really providing the special teams with a spark. So, Nick, with all of that in mind, I guess we'll talk about the elephant in the room. How can Acadiana function without that rocket in the middle of that defense that is Darius McKinley?
I'm glad you asked the question that way, because you can function. You can't replace Darius McKinley. And I want to be clear, because, Cole, I know you said that's all we're going to say about that. It is an injury. We're just not at liberty to discuss exactly what kind of injury. It's nothing off the field or any kind of, mischievous event that happened. It's an injury, and Darius is not going to play in this game. It's a monster loss. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. So I know they're going to have a couple players that are going to try to fill in for what he can do, but he's been so explosive. He's made an impact on every game this season. He's in the backfield on just about every play. If he's not sacking the quarterback, he's pressuring them and moving them out. And this quarterback for St. Aug is really good. And we were hoping that Darius was going to be able to put the pressure on him and move him out of the pocket and see what could happen on the secondary. So it's going to have to be a really good secondary game. Those guys are going to have to step up when the quarterback is making the throws, and we'll see if that next man up mentality can happen tonight. But replacing Darius McKinley is near impossible.
Well, speaking of that, Nick, let's just go ahead and get to it. I'm going to throw it back to you, and you can give the starting lineups for our Acadiana Wreckin Rams.
Starting lineup tonight for the Acadiana High School Wreckin Rams. At quarterback, number 6 will be junior Colin DeBetta. Wide receiver will be senior number 1, Tyler Martina, and senior number 0, Travis Gallion. The running backs tonight, senior number 2, Troy Kinnerson, senior number 8, Deion Simon, and junior number 9, Cy Joseph. The tight end tonight will be senior number 81, Tayshawn Benjamin. The offensive line tonight for the Wreckin Rams, at left tackle will be senior number 78, Channing Jackson. Guard will be junior number 52, Kedrick Bourgeois. The center tonight will be number 63, senior Nathan Fant. The right guard tonight, senior number 55, George Gettridge. And the right tackle will be junior number 54, Isaiah Avalos. The starting defense tonight for the Wreckin Rams, at defensive tackle, senior number 97, Christian Davis, and senior number 98, Jackson Hiltz. The defensive ends tonight will be senior number 44, Dante Chavis, and senior number 85, Anthony Paternostro. The linebackers tonight will be senior number 5, Gavin Coleman, and senior number 7, Isaiah Lavallee. The secondary tonight, the nickelback will be senior number 22, Gavin Heisaw. The strong safety, senior number 3, Keon Leday. Free safety will be senior number 15, J.L. Malbrew. And the cornerbacks tonight, going both ways and picking up a big load for the Wreckin Rams tonight. Senior number 0, Travis Gallion on one side. Junior number 6, cornerback Colin DeBetta will be on the other side. Special teams kicker and punter will be Josh Marquez. That is the starting lineup tonight for the Acadiana High School Wreckin Rams.
That's your starting lineups. We're going to go ahead and take another break, but come on back for some more WRP here on YouTube.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the certainty of this delivery.
This team will make a push in January.
Absolutely, they're still in it.
But getting that delivery.
What do you think, Johnny?
How do you know my name?
You're wearing a name tag.
Oh, yeah. 2-second rule?
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back, Ram Nation. Tad Gormley Stadium here in City Park in New Orleans. And, you know, across the field, they got the St. Augustine team, the band, the fans. It's really hard to gauge how many people are here and how packed the stadium is because it does seat just under 30,000. But it's a beautiful night for football. Really, the weather held out. It's very cool and windy. But with that being said, Nick, let's go ahead and talk about the St. Augustine Purple Knights. Finished the year 9-1 overall and finished number 2 in District 9-5A. Of course, they share that district with Carr. It's considered the Catholic League for those of you who don't know. So it is a very loaded district with a lot of talent. They're led by head coach Robert Valdez in his second year. Coach Valdez says, this season has generated a lot of excitement. We are young on the offensive and defensive lines, but have a lot of talent to be strong on both units. We have a lot of young returning players that have learned our system and are happy with where we are so far in this season. A couple of game notes. They are ranked number 3 in the D1 Select bracket, and they're seeking their first state championship appearance since winning the 4A title back in 1979. Last week, they did have a first-round bye, but the week before that, they did beat John Curtis 55-28. Offensively, they're averaging 45.6 points per game. They have scored 46-plus points 7 times this season. In their last ball game against John Curtis a couple weeks ago, they had 412 total yards against the Patriots. They're led by number 1 quarterback, Vashawn Coulon. He's a returning starter. Big-time leadership skills, a rifle arm, and great feet in the pocket. He's going to be a handful to deal with tonight, folks. Against John Curtis, 166 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had 45 rushing yards with another 2 touchdowns. Couple of running backs. They're going to have 3 of them that'll touch the football. Cohen Davis is a freshman. He had 16 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown against the Patriots 2 weeks ago. Also, running back Khalil Lewis had a rushing touchdown, and running back Jaleel Noble. He's young and very talented. You'll actually see him line up in a couple of different positions, maybe quarterback at times. He had a rushing touchdown against the Patriots as well. When they go out wide, they have 2 electric wide receivers who are 2 of the best in the entire state. Raekwon Williams, who's going to be number 3 on your screen, 5 receptions, 96 yards, and a touchdown against the Patriots. And number 8, Miguel Whitley, a 2024 All-District selection, had a 3-yard touchdown reception against the Patriots as well. Defensively, they're allowing a stingy 21 points per game. They're going to be led by their jack position, which is a defensive end and linebacker combo, Darren Coates. He had a 35-yard pick 6 against the Patriots, a fumble recovery, and a sack. Defensive end Ty Dominic, 6'4", 255, is another one of those returning starters that you'll see tonight. Defensive tackle Corey Brooks, who's 5'9", 255, a very tough kid right there in the middle of that defense. And then you'll see a couple of rovers, which are that linebacker, strong safety combo. Clinton Hill Jr., 5'11", 195. He's a tough guy, a hard hitter. And then you'll see Sayer Gilmore, 5'9", 200, another 2024 All-State selection for the Purple Knights. One thing about them, they are very young. You know, they got a lot of sophomores and a lot of juniors playing, but they do not lack in talent. This is an extremely talented St. Aug team. And as we mentioned earlier, Nick, what Acadiana is trying to do tonight is keep that explosive offense off the field for one, and they want to match the physicality of St. Aug and really get out there and punch them in the mouth early.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of wrinkles they have offensively. I know that we got word that Raekwon Williams may be limited tonight. He's number 3 in the offense for St. Aug, so I don't know if he's going to be all the way out in the football game or if he's just going to be limited in action, but nonetheless, that could be a positive for Acadiana, not having those 2 explosive wide receivers on the field, but we know they're very good, and we know that the defense is going to be hampered without having number 87 out there wreaking havoc in the pocket, so it's going to take a big effort from the defense to fill those shoes of Darius McKinley being out, and once we get the ball offensively, it's just going to be controlling it and keeping that St. Aug offense off the field as much as possible.
So down on the field, we are about to do the invocation and national anthem. We'll go ahead and take another timeout, but come on back for some more WRP here on YouTube.
At Southern Classic Chicken, we take pride in serving the freshest, seasoned, and marinated hand-breaded fried chicken. It's so good, it's wrong. Add in tasty sides like our zesty Cajun seasoned fries, savory red beans and rice, or sweet corn grits. Drive through today and pick up a family box or one of our classic combos and enjoy a true Southern classic. Oh, and don't forget the pepper.
Hey, Wreckin' Ram fans, that's right, I'm in Big D, and I don't mean Dallas, Tucson, Louisiana, where a dream became a destination. At Knox and Tucson, timeless family recipes get a personal twist. Every bite has Louisiana flavor, from plate lunches to specialty burgers, to po' boys, fresh seafood, both grilled and boiled. And every Thursday through Saturday, we turn up the charm with live music and our very own Cajun Exotico breakfast every other Saturday morning. And don't forget brunch every Sunday. So come down to Knox and Tucson, a proud supporter of Acadiana High School. Knox and Tucson, don't knock it till you try it. Go Rams!
Uncle T's Oyster Bar in Scott is your destination for Acadiana's best local seafood.
Featuring delicious oysters, po' boys, specialty dishes, boiled crawfish, and happy hour specials.
Uncle T's across the railroad tracks in Scott.
Serving Gulf oysters just the way you like them.
At the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office, we believe building a strong organization starts with preparation, leverages teamwork, and harnesses the character of each individual. While using cutting-edge technologies and state-of-the-art equipment, our brave deputies are dedicated to keeping you and your loved ones safe. We're more than law enforcement. We're a team working together in service of our community. The Acadiana Wreckin Rams know a lot about service, teamwork, and winning. When you're ready to join our championship team, come by or give us
The relationship with Star and Acadiana High School started this spring when they were awarded the contract to service all of our schools, and the service has been tremendous. Our schools are cool, our teachers are happy, our parents are happy, and most importantly, our students are happy because when they enter those classrooms, it's comfortable, it's safe, and it's a good learning environment for our students. Just like Acadiana.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium as the two teams come out for the coin toss. A couple of captains for your Wreckin' Rams. Number 98, Jackson Hiltz. Number 55, George Gettridge. Number 19, I do not have a 19 on my roster, but a number 78 is Channing Jackson. I believe that's Javian Lawrence.
Okay.
19.
There you go.
That is correct. Javian Lawrence is number 19 in tonight's ball game. Gonna have to write that at the bottom of my roster here.
Well, Cole, it's going to be hard for us not to, quote-unquote, beat a dead horse with Darius McKinley being out, but it's such a big storyline. He's such a big part of this team that it's really hard to ignore, to avoid. It's kind of all you want to talk about. It's kind of all we've talked about since we found the news, and it's such a looming elephant in the room, as you put it, with him not being on the field. So I'm very interested to see how that impacts the game. We know it will impact the game. I wonder what kind of advantage that's going to give to St. Aug by not having such an explosive player on the defensive side of the football. So that's mainly what I'm focusing on in this football game, especially when Acadiana is on defense. How are we able to fill in for missing McKinley? And of course on offense, how effective is the Veer going to be against another New Orleans defense? We've seen Acadiana come into New Orleans and have success running the Veer. They a couple years ago, they beat Edna Carr. They've come to the New Orleans area, and those teams have had trouble defending what Acadiana does offensively. So it's going to be one of those games where you're going to want to grind it out and burn clock. I'm interested to see what that happens, but obviously what I'm more interested in is seeing how the defense steps up and fills the role of number 87 being out.
Well, Acadiana has won the toss and has elected to take the ball, which is something they haven't done too much of this year. So the Veer machine is going to start this ball game off. Acadiana is going to be in the north end zone, working north to south. It's a loud one. These two bands, I tell you what, that St. Augustine band might be not only one of the best in the state, one of the best in the country. We're about 200 yards away from them, and they are blowing the windows off of this press box. I can tell you that.
They sound really good. We heard about how good they were going to be. We've heard that Acadiana practiced this week with a very loud band, so they're prepared for what the St. Aug band brings, the impact they have on the game. But man, St. Aug is even better than advertised as far as their band goes.
Back deep to receive, number 6, Colin DeBetta, and number 0, Travis the Train Gallion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's round 2 of the D1 Select Playoffs. Let's saw wood. Kick is away. It's a short one, bounces at the 10, picked up at the 5. Ball's on the ground. DeBetta trying to find a lane. He's going to be tackled inside the 5-yard line. So not an ideal start for the Veer machine, but here they come.
We were talking to Cesar Trahan before the game, and he's like, hey, I'm the special teams coordinator. Y'all all go hard on the special teams as hard as y'all been going on the special teams. But, man, it's such a big part of the game, and starting the game off with a blunder like that, you're really like, oh, you're feeling it now. Yeah, you're way backed up inside the 5-yard line. So it's going to be interesting to see what the offense can do here. You're not starting off as crisp and clean as you want on the very first play, but the offense is 96 yards away from finding the end zone. Maybe they can grind some of that first quarter clock.
1st and 10 ball at the 4-yard line. DeBetta under center. Takes a snap, handoff up the middle. Dives forward for only a gain of 2. It's going to be 2nd and 8.
It's not quite what you wanted to do there. You know, we used to get into 3-yard gains, right? And the Veer is going to soften up this St. Aug defense, and hopefully you'll be able to find a little bit more success than 2-yard gains, because 3 2-yard gains doesn't get you where you need to be. You need to be grinding out those 10-yard first downs. And Cole, you mentioned it off the air to me, how you thought Deion Simon's going to be an X factor in this game. You feel like he's going to have a big game, so it's going to be good to get the ball a bunch and see what he can do when he gets those outside runs.
2nd and 8. DeBetta talking to his offensive line, gets back under center. Takes the snap, handoff. Simon looking for a lane. Met at the line of scrimmage. They'll give him a yard, but that's it. It's going to be 3rd and 7.
They converged very well on the Veer. So far on this drive, St. Aug seems to fill the gaps. You know, it's all about guessing which gap to find, and St. Aug seems to be doing a really good job. Gave the ball to Simon there. I thought he might have been able to bounce it out and maybe pick up a couple more yards, but St. Aug seems to be just as explosive defensively as we expect their offense to be.
Very dangerous position with your back to the end zone. Got to be careful with the play you want to run here. You know, normally you would roll somebody out and throw something, but got to be very careful in this situation. 3rd and 7. Ball at the 7. Snap. Drops back to pass. Swings it to Gallion. He's wide open at the 20, at the 30. It's a foot race. Can he win it? The 50. The 40. Travis, the Train Gallion, takes it to the end zone, and your Wreckin' Rams score first, 6-0, pending the point after.
Just a slant inside to Gallion. He was wide open, and DeBetta hits him perfectly in stride. Gallion's all the way in the end zone. That is not what I expected to happen on the first drive. I thought they were just going to grind it on the ground, but once they got backed up into their own end zone, they were forced to throw it. And Cole, you mentioned that you had to make a smart decision with the football. DeBetta does just that, and once Gallion got out in space, there was nobody catching him. He took it to the house. Acadiana strikes first.
93-yard touchdown strike. Colin DeBetta to Travis the Train Gallion, and your Wreckin' Rams strike early and set the tone. Snap is good. Kick is away. Kick is up. Kick is good. 7-0, your Rams lead with 10-17 in the first quarter. Let's take a break and bring it back here on WRP.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready.
Let's get it.
Tad Gormley Stadium, your Wreckin' Rams just punched it in from 93 yards out. DeBetta to Travis the Train Gallion. Josh Marquez on to kick it away. Good deep kick, really deep kick. And Marquez doing what he does with his strong leg. 1st and 10, St. Aug, ball at the 20.
We didn't even mention Travis Gallion in the pregame. We didn't even mention the dynamic that he brings to the offense. We were so focused on Acadiana being able to grind the football and burn clock that we didn't even talk about the fact that they do have a very effective passing game, especially underneath those slant routes that Gallion runs so great. He and DeBetta have a great connection right there, and they've been honing it all year long, and finally I think they got it working right there, and it's very, very funny that we weren't even talking about Acadiana's passing game. That's how they strike first and get on the board.
Coulon in the shotgun, running back on his hip, 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Tight end goes in motion. Takes the snap, hands off. Trying to get outside, he will. He's across the 25 and pushed out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 5. 2nd and 5.
Any success that teams have had against Acadiana this year running the football has been outside. The inside's been pretty much clogged up, but if teams can find yardage outside, they'll have success, and St. Aug gets a big gain right there on 1st down.
3 receivers, far side. Coulon in the shotgun with the running back. Takes the snap, swings it. No, he's going to keep it himself and run up the middle, looking for a lane. He finds one. He's going to tiptoe down to about the 33-yard line, and it's going to be just enough to move the sticks.
We were talking to Coach Dotson before the game. He made comparisons to Jalandon Gray with the quarterback for St. Aug. He's not quite where Jalandon Gray is, but you can see right there he's shifty. And if you remember that bar game, Acadiana won, but Jalandon Gray gave him fit. So it's going to be interesting if Acadiana can adjust and stop what Bouillon does on the run.
2 receivers to each side. Slot receiver goes in motion across the formation, lines up to the left of the formation. Takes the snap, rolls out far side, looking downfield, pulls up and throws it downfield, and it's incomplete. Good coverage right there by number 15, J.L. Malbrook.
He looks like whenever you can get it, Coulon, I said Bouillon, but it's Coulon. He looks like when Coulon gets on the outside, he doesn't quite set his feet out. That was only the first time that we've seen it. I'm sure as the game goes on, he's going to get a little bit more comfortable, but nice coverage by the Acadiana secondary to stop his first pass attempt.
2nd and 10, ball at the 32. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Slot goes in motion, lines up as a left side wing. Flag on the play. I believe this is going to be a delay of game, or maybe too many men on the field. Let's see. They're going to call it an illegal procedure. Illegal procedure against the Purple Knights will back them up 5. Let's reset. It'll be 2nd and 15.
Cole, we had kind of talked about it off the air about if Acadiana could jump out quick, what was that going to do to St. Aug's ability to control their football game, to play their type of tempo and what they want to do? And so far, they haven't looked quite as crisp as we thought they were going to do early in this drive.
2nd and 15. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Coulon in the shotgun, running back. Keeps it, looking for a man, ball's on the ground, and Acadiana's gonna have it. Excellent job by the defenders to force a fumble. There's actually no signal yet. They're fighting for the football. It looked like 2 Wreckin Rams jumped on it, and Acadiana's gonna have it. You wanted to talk about setting the tone early. There it is, Nick. You come up with a strip of a quarterback that is one of the better quarterbacks in all of the state of Louisiana on the very first drive of the game. And now if you're the Veer machine, you got to go down and you got to punch this ball in the end zone and make it really tough for him early.
Coulon's just holding that ball in one hand and he knocks it right out. It falls on the ground. Acadiana stomps on it. And now you're almost in the red zone. You're at the 24-yard line. Acadiana's ability to run the football could come into play here. You had to strike through the air. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe take a shot or 2 here at this part of the football field with Gallion on the outside.
Handoff up the middle. Looks like they'll give them a gain of 2. It's going to be 2nd and 8.
If you can get in the end zone on this drive and get a 2-score cushion before St. Aug figures it out, because they're going to adjust, they're going to figure it out. We know St. Aug's going to be able to put up points. They put up 40 points in the majority of their games this year. We're not going to hold them to 0. They're going to put up some points. So the bigger the cushion Acadiana can build right here when you're in this good field position is going to pay dividends when the St. Aug does figure it out offensively.
2nd and 8. DeBetta under center. Kenderson and Simon in the backfield. Handoff to Kenderson. Met at the line of scrimmage. There is a flag in the middle of the field, and I think this might be a false start. We'll have to wait and see.
I think I saw the same thing, Cole.
The only thing that would tell me otherwise is that they let the play on, so maybe neutral zone. Let's see. False start. False start against Acadiana, so that play will not count. It'll back them up 5, and I believe it'll be 2nd and 13.
There's no doubt about it. This St. Aug band is going to impact what is happening on the football field. And I know that Acadiana practiced all week with the loud band, but it's very loud over here from the far side of the football field. You know it's got to be loud on the field.
Option, pitches. Simon got to cut it up, but he's met after a gain of 3. It's going to be 3rd and 10. A heck of a job right there by the defensive end for St. Aug to, bail out on the running back and make that tackle, because it looked like Simon had a lane and it closed very quickly.
That's right. That from where we were in our angle, that lane looked big and it closed up right away. You're right. Good job on the outside from that defender to kind of reach his hand out and trip up Simon before he was able to pick up many more yards.
Curious to see what Doug Dotson and James Estes want to draw up right here. I'll be honest with you, Nick. I think this might even be a good time to take a timeout and talk about it. A big 3rd and 10. Let's see. DeBetta's going to get under center. And they're going to run a trap to Joseph. Pushes forward just shy of the 20. Give him a gain of 2. It's going to be 4th and 8. And we saw, last week Josh Marquez came on and drilled a long field goal. We'll have to see what they want to do here.
This could also be a situation where you're at this part of the field, you're going for it. It's 4-down territory, so hoping that trap play would have got you a few more yards than it did, but now you're at 4th and long, so more than likely going to put it in the air. But regardless, it was 4-down territory, and you were going to go for it at this part of the field.
7-0, your Rams lead early with 7:20 in the first quarter, and this Veer Machine offense will take the field, 4th and 8. Takes the snap, drops back looking, slant, Gallion catches it again at the 10-yard line, fighting defenders, and he's down inside the 10, 1st and goal Rams.
Man, it's just not something that we even factored in that was going to happen in this football game, the passing game, and so far, that's another 2 big plays so far, one going for 93 yards, the other a big first down on a 4th down play, and Travis Gallion has already made his impact well felt in this football game.
Gallion already a matchup nightmare for the St. Aug defense, 1st and goal Rams. Handoff up the middle, inside the 5. And he'll be pushed down at about the 4-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and goal, ball at the 4.
Down here at this part of the field, it's touchdown or bust, right? The Wreckin Rams have to score here. And the inside runs have been a struggle to find those yards. But really, you got 4 chances down here if you just keep running the football. Or you could try Gallion. Like you said, Cole, he's a matchup nightmare so far for what St. Aug is trying to do. And they're exploiting it early on. So credit to them. The game plan that we thought was just going to be keeping it on the ground all night, but they saw something there with Gallion, and he's really done a tremendous job so far early in this game.
9 seconds on the play clock. Got to get out there, break this huddle. Down to 5. DeBetta under center. 2nd and goal. Snap handoff up the middle. No, he's going to keep it himself and walk into the end zone. Colin DeBetta faked everybody out and literally had no defenders on him. Walks into the end zone, and just like that, folks, your Wreckin Rams take a 13-0 lead early in this game.
DeBetta ran it out as if it were a fake. He was just slightly jogging it, so you just assumed he didn't have the ball, and yet he kept it the whole way and gets into the end zone. And man, to go up 2 touchdowns right here early in the first quarter is so big. Now you can kind of breathe a little bit, settle those jitters that might have been happening in this gigantic football game in the stadium with the band playing and everything. You got 14 points on the board. Acadiana clicking on all cylinders. The passing game working. Not even a factor, not even something that we talked about in the pregame that could be a possibility for Acadiana in this game, and yet DeBetta and Gallion have made an impact big on this game so far.
Josh Marquez does what he does, drills the extra point. 14-0 your Rams lead. Let's take a short timeout, but we'll be back with some more WRP.
At the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office, we believe building a strong organization starts with preparation, leverages teamwork, and harnesses the character of each individual. While using cutting-edge technologies and state-of-the-art equipment, our brave deputies are dedicated to keeping you and your loved ones safe. We're more than law enforcement. We're a team working together in service of our community. The Acadiana Wreckin Rams know a lot about service, teamwork, and winning. When you're ready to join our championship team, come by or give us a call.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium, City Park, New Orleans, Louisiana. Your Wreckin' Rams shocking everybody early with a 2-score lead. 5:59 left to go in the very first quarter.
I bet people across the state are checking the score, checking in on Wreckin' Ram production, seeing what's going on, and they didn't watch what's happened so far in the first half of this first quarter, and they see 14-0 Acadiana. They're probably saying, somebody made a mistake. No, sir. Wreckin' Rams are up 14.
Marquez going to kick this one away. It's high and deep and angled towards the sideline, taken in at about the 8. Returner's going to cut it back to about the 20. He's found the lane. He's across the 30. Got a man to beat. He's outside. He's across the 50. It's a track meet. 30. He's got a lead blocker. 20, 10, and he's going to be, let's see how they spot him. He's going to be in the end zone. Something that couldn't happen just happened. You let St. Aug get on the board with special teams, an unfortunate blunder, but now it's 14-6 pending the point after.
I knew special teams was going to be a major part of this game, and so far St. Aug's had the better part of it. We heard that they had maybe some deficiencies in the special teams. That might be something that Acadiana could exploit. And so far on the special teams, we have a fumbled snap on our offensive side of special teams, and right there, just not able to cover what St. Aug does. And when you talk about momentum in this football game, that was just one thing that couldn't happen to kind of shift the momentum a little bit. You're still up by a touchdown, but St. Aug's feeling like they're right back into it.
Hard count is going to draw an encroachment against the Rams. I believe that was 97. Christian Davis is going to get called for offsides, and this is going to be half the distance, and we'll have to see what St. Aug wants to do here.
You're going to have to settle down. You can already feel the emotions heightened. It's getting chippy. The kids are pressing right now. This is not the time to do that, right? St. Aug got on the board. We knew they were. We knew you weren't going to shut them out. They got a touchdown. You're still up. It's going to be up to Acadiana to kind of settle these emotions and get back to playing the game they want to play.
Half the distance puts it at the 1.
And Cole, we saw their kicker in the pregame booting it well from 50 yards, so we know he's got a boot.
Another hard count. And again, Acadiana jumps, and this is going to be half the distance once again.
When you're playing a team like St. Aug, you cannot continue to do this. Eventually, you're going to get them close enough to where they're going to go for 2, and those points can be so big. I mean, it's early in this football game, and you're making these mistakes, and it's kind of been all year where you're just making these untimely mistakes and allowing teams to get better position, better field position, free plays, things like that. And luckily, it doesn't look like it's going to hurt you on this drive because they're still going to go for 1, but it's just something that needs to be cleaned up.
Are you surprised that they're
I'm very surprised.
I am as well. Kick is away, and the kick is good. So after all of that, they opt to take the point after. 14-7, your Wreckin' Rams still lead this one with 5:43 left to go in the first quarter. Come on back for some more Wreckin' Ram Productions.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready.
Let's get it.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. You just watched St. Aug on an impressive kick return, cut the lead in this one. And you know what, Nick? I'm hoping that, Colin DeBetta and Travis the Train Gowie can do a little bit of the same here. Two of the most electric guys in the entire state with the ball in their hands. You just hope that they get an opportunity.
Most teams don't give them that opportunity, and we saw DeBetta get the ball on the first kick of the game and kind of fumbled it and dropped it. So hopefully you get a cleaner snap right there. But if you give one of those guys an opportunity to return the football, they can do exactly what just happened with St. Aug.
Very important drive for the Wreckin' Rams upcoming. Got to respond, get that momentum back. Kick is away. It's a low one. Bounces at the 10. Rolls to Colin, who bobbles it once again. He's going to have to pick it up and return it. Very confused because normally if you make contact with a ball in the field of play, you're supposed to return it out of the end zone, but they're going to mark it as a touchback.
Yeah,
so
fortunate
for the Rams.
Absolutely.
Very fortunate for the Rams. It's going to be 1st and 10 veer machine, ball at the 20.
Yep, you take advantage of that situation because that was an official mistake. They should have allowed the better to return and see what he could have got because he did touch it outside of the end zone. But it's imperative that Acadiana respond right here. I mean, if you go 3 and out or even give them the football, either way. I mean, we saw when Acadiana was backed up here, they got the big play from Gallion. I don't know if they're going to rely or lean on that passing game a lot. I would expect them to go back to the run and try to establish that. But somehow, some way, you got to find a way to respond if the St. Aug just punched you in the mouth.
1st and 10. Handoff up the middle. No, he's going to keep it himself. Pitches it. Trying to turn the corner, but he'll be gang tackled by a host of Purple Knights. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, they're really good against the run. They're playing the run really well, and they have everything stuffed out. Aside from that fake down there by the end zone, the Wreckin Rams really haven't got much going on the run. And I know they want to establish it and what we talked about in the pregame, controlling it, keeping the offense off the field. But at some point, those run plays that you're trying to establish are going to have to create positive yardage. And so far, Acadiana is struggling with it early.
Yeah, can't keep playing from behind the sticks and 2nd and longs, you know. DeBetta takes the snap, handoff up the middle, dives forward, gain of 3, 3rd and 6.
This is about the spot where you were in last time, where you kind of took a shot with Gallion. I'm not saying they're going to do it here, but Gallion is presenting a mismatch with their defenders, and he's exploiting it so far early in this game. So this could be an opportunity for Acadiana to put it in the air and see what you can do. Gallion's made a couple plays so far where you're like, all right, maybe this is something that we can go to all night long. It's very early in this football game, but we'll see what happens here on this play.
Got to see if it opens things up as well for Ty Lambertina and Tayshawn Benjamin, the tight end. Rolls out far side. Simon picks up a block. Colin not going to be able to turn the corner, and he's actually going to lose a few yards, and Acadiana's going to have to punt this football away.
Yeah, I don't know about that play call. That's a questionable one, but nonetheless, they're going to have to punt the football, and it's kind of what we thought was going to happen, where you knew you weren't going to keep St. Aug off the scoreboard. You knew at some point they were going to get momentum, they were going to get things going, and man, how quickly this game has turned. Acadiana's still up by 7 points, but about to give the ball back to St. Aug, and last time St. Aug had the ball, they turned it over. You can't really rely on turnovers to be a big part of this game, so the defense is going to have to step up and stop them. St. Aug should have pretty decent field position unless Marquez boots it into the end zone.
Kick is away. Low line drive like Marquez has been doing all year long, but he does not get the bounce he's used to.
Cool,
he's going to check back up inside the 40, and the Purple Knights are going to have some really good field position to start this drive.
That honestly might be the first punt that I've seen Josh Marquez have all season that did not take a Wreckin Ram bounce. I mean, his punts usually, they might be short ones, but then they'll bounce another 10, 15 yards, and you end up getting a good one. That's the first one that bounced the wrong way, and now St. Aug's inside the 40-yard line.
Ball's going to be spotted at the 38, so they'll have a short field to play with. 3 receivers far side, 1 to the near side. Coulon in the shotgun with a running back. Takes the snap, it's a high one, handoff up the middle, looking for a lane. He'll drag him for a gain of 5. It's gonna be actually 2nd and 4.
Man, it's such a tall task for Acadiana to get down in this position and keep this explosive St. Aug offense out of the end zone. So they're going to have to make a couple of special plays, and especially you missing your big clog in the middle. Somebody's going to have to step up and make something happen.
3 receivers far side. Coulon takes the snap, he rolls out far side looking. He's going to swing it back near side. It's complete. Tackled by Gavin Highsaw. Great job to be in position there and not allow an explosive play, but it is a gain of about 8 and another first down for the Purple Knights.
Yeah, St. Aug does get the first down there, but a nice tackle from Highsaw, because if the receiver makes one move, he doesn't have anybody there, and he's probably going to go in the end zone. Highsaw makes the tackle, allows St. Aug to get the first down, but stops him from getting an even bigger play.
2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side, a wing to the left of the formation. Coulon the shotgun with a running back. Takes the snap. Handoff up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage. He'll get a gain of 2. It's going to be 2nd and 8.
Nice job by the defense to clog the middle. Didn't allow him to get anything right there. So far, those first down plays have been getting good positive yardage for St. Aug right there. Acadiana steps up and gets the job done, knocks him off the ball, and doesn't allow him to get a big game set up. This 2nd and 8. I mean, at this point in the field, everything's open on the St. Aug playbook, so you got to be ready for everything. And we know that Coulon can put it in the air and make stuff happen on the outside.
2nd and 8, ball at the 21. 3 receivers far side. Coulon in the shotgun. Running back on his hip. Takes the snap, drops back, looking, swings it to his running back. It's complete. Inside the 10, breaks the tackle, and he'll walk into the end zone. And just like that, as fast as Acadiana took a 2-score lead, St. Aug responds. 14-13 pending the point after.
Got the screen pass out, and once he got one-on-one coverage, it was one move. It was kind of what I expected to happen on the previous play with Gavin Highsaw, and Highsaw was able to make the tackle. That time, the receiver makes the move and finds his way in the end zone, and pinning the extra point. St. Aug's tied this football game up. 27 points pinning the extra point so far in this first quarter. A high-scoring affair. Not sure too many people expected that, but both of these offenses have put up some points early in this game.
St. Aug special teams running a swinging gate here. They're going to line up. About 12 seconds left to snap this ball. Kick is up. Kick is good. 2:27 left to go in the first quarter. St. Aug ties this ball game up at 14. Come on back for some more WRP here on YouTube.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready.
Let's get it.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. Back deep to receive this one, I believe that's Ty Lamartina standing back there with Keon Leday. It seems like maybe even Troy Kinnerson. Acadiana's doing a little bit of some tricky stuff on special teams.
Well, you know, we saw Colin have a couple of blunders so far. Maybe they're going to take that responsibility away from him and pass it on to someone else.
Yeah, it does look like Troy Kinnerson and Keon Leday back deep to receive at about the 10-yard line. Kick is away. It's a sky kick, a very short one brought in by Lamartine at the 20. Inside the 25, looking for a lane, and he'll be down just shy of the 30. I believe they'll mark him at the 29, and that's where the Veer machine will have it, 1st and 10.
Well, we'll see what Acadiana does here offensively. Do they adjust what the game plan was? We know that they were trying to run the football. They wanted to establish the run. Obviously, that's Acadiana football, but so far it hasn't really been effective. You're not really moving it with the run. You're getting those 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9 plays. That's not really where Acadiana feels comfortable. You want to be more in those 2nd and 4. Maybe they start passing on first down. Maybe they open it up a little bit. We've seen the success so far with Travis Gallion. That's how Acadiana's been moved the football. So it might have to adjust what the game plan was to start this football game.
1st and 10. Handoff up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage. They'll give them a gain of 1. It's going to be 2nd and 9. And once again, Acadiana playing behind the sticks in 2nd down situation.
We've seen this previously where the game plan is to go inside and Acadiana not finding success and also not, you know, adjusting what the game plan may be. So we'll see if they're able to bust a couple of big runs. We know at any moment the Veer machine can bust that big run and you can get that 80-yard gain. But so far in this first quarter, Acadiana is really struggling with those inside runs.
9 seconds on the play clock. Gonna have to get lined up here. 2 receivers near side to Betta under center. Takes the snap. Handoff to Simon. Tries to get outside, not going to do it. I don't even think he got a yard. They're going to mark it no gain. It's going to be 3rd and 9. And just a very uncomfortable situation to be in if you're the Veer machine.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a predictable situation where everybody knows you're gonna put the football in the air, right? You want to maybe try to catch them off guard. That's why I was thinking maybe on 1st down or 2nd down you would put it in the air, but Acadiana is sticking to the run game. Eventually, though, if you don't have success with this run game, something's going to have to change. An adjustment is going to have to be made, but so far they're sticking with that inside run and just not having much success with it.
So I'll correct myself. They actually gave him a yard on the last one. It's going to be 3rd and 8. 2 receivers stacked near side. And Acadiana is going to take a timeout. We'll take a short timeout as well. Come on back for some more WRP here on YouTube.
Uncle T's Oyster Bar in Scott is your destination for Acadiana's best local seafood.
Featuring delicious oysters, po' boys, specialty dishes, boiled crawfish, and happy hour specials.
Uncle T's across the railroad tracks in Scott.
Serving Gulf oysters just the way you like them.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready.
Let's get it.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. 56 seconds left in the first quarter. Deadlocked at 14 in what has been a really exciting first quarter. Wreckin' Rams got out to that early 14-0 lead, but just like that, St. Aug responds very quickly, and we're back knotted up. Acadiana's going to be faced with a 3rd and 8 right here. Really curious to see what Doug Dotson and James Estes does.
I like the fact that they called a touchdown before this play. This is a big play early in this game.
2 receivers near side. Takes the snap, swings it to Gallion, and it's well wide of Gallion. And once again, the Wreckin' Rams are going to have to punt this football away.
Well, I'll just say this. I like the idea, all right? I like that play idea. I think if you get the ball to Gallion, he does have an opportunity to break it and bust the first down. But again, the execution just not there. And, you know, that's going to happen in high school football. The execution is not going to be there. But I do like the design of the play. And so far, when you've got Gallion outside, those plays have worked and the execution is there. Maybe Gallion has a chance.
Josh Marquez on the punt. Return man standing back at about the 35-yard line. Marquez kicks it away. Bounces at the 40. Takes a Wreckin' Ram roll to about the 32-yard line, and that's where the Purple Knights will have it, 1st and 10. Well, we talked about it before the game, and if Acadiana was going to have any way to win this ball game, it was going to be because the Veer machine stayed on the field and executed as we know them to do. That has not been the case. It's been a real struggle to run the ball. We are not controlling clock like we thought. Thankfully, we have had some success in the passing game with Travis Gallion, but that's kind of stalled out the last couple drives.
And you can't rely on the explosive play. You can't count on a 93-yard play, right? You got it. You'll take it, obviously. You'll take the points. But you have to kind of try to grind out a drive. And so far, offensively, Acadiana hasn't been able to do that.
2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Tight end goes in motion to the right of the formation. Coulon takes the snap, handoff up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage. Great job by the Terrible Turks. Give them a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9.
That 14-point cushion that you had early in this game has evaporated. You're now sitting in the tie game, and really the first opportunity for the defense to play with their backs against the wall a little bit. The first time the defense saw the field, they already had 7 points on the board. Now you're in a tie football game, and you're being asked to rely on you. Again, remember, they've relied on the defense all year long, and they're relying it in the biggest moment here.
2nd and 9, takes the snap, looking far side, swings it. He's got it's a tunnel screen. Tackled right away, though. Gain of about 5. It's going to be 3rd and 5. Acadiana's got to find a way to stop him right here.
Yeah, we're going to go into the second quarter here, but quickly. The one-on-ones on the outside, when the receiver and the defensive back is one-on-one, Acadiana's going to have to come up with some of those tackles. They got the tackle there, didn't allow the big play, but the first tackle was broken, and we saw Gavin Highsall make the tackle on this side, and we saw it break on the other side for a touchdown. Though those first initial tackles are going to have to be made because St. Aug has something on the outside where they're finding the receiver and getting him in those one-on-one situations.
We'll take a short break, but come on back for the second quarter here on WRP.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the certainty of this delivery.
This team will make a push in January.
Absolutely, they're still in it.
But getting that delivery.
What do you think, Johnny?
How do you know my name?
You're wearing a name tag.
Oh, yeah. 2-second rule?
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. Start of the second quarter, deadlocked at 14 here. And I tell you what, St. Aug's going to be faced with a 3rd down right here. Acadiana's got a good chance to maybe get off the field and get a little bit of momentum back.
St. Aug's done a really good job of a balanced offensive attack. They're running the football, they're throwing the football, and so Acadiana's kind of been on edge. So far in this drive, though, the Acadiana defense has really stepped up and not allowed St. Aug to get those big explosive plays. But this third and manageable right here, we'll see what St. Aug draws up, but they have had a very balanced attack so far offensively.
2 receivers far side, 1 to the near side, a wing to the right of the formation. Coulon looks to the sideline for a play. 10 seconds on the play clock. Takes the snap. He's going to roll far side looking downfield. Throws it to his receiver, and it's caught. Great catch right there. I believe that was number 18, Jaleel Noble, a very young, talented player for this Purple Knight Ball Club, and it's enough to move the sticks.
He ran a great route. He just found a hole in the middle of the defense, and Coulon put it right over his shoulder, kind of right in the basket. So a great pitch and catch there by St. Aug.
Coulon going to keep it himself up the middle, looking for a lane. He's met in the middle of the field, I believe that was number 5, Gavin Coleman, on the tackle, but it is a gain of 3. It's going to be 2nd and 7.
I thought we would see a few more designed runs from St. Aug so far. That's really only the second one that we've seen so far offensively. Granted, they haven't had the ball that many times, but I thought we would see much more of Coulon on the outside using his legs to make plays. 2
receivers near side, 1 far side. Coulon takes a snap, hands it to Noble up the middle. Gets a gain of roughly 4, and it's going to be 3rd and 4.
That balanced attack right now really has Acadiana on edge. The passing game at any moment can be explosive, and the running game for St. Aug is having positive yards and moving the football. And so, Acadiana is going to have to stay committed to their gaps and stay committed to their assignments if they're going to want to stop what St. Aug draws up here on this 3rd and short.
3rd and 4. Ball at the 50. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 far side. Coulon on by himself in the shotgun. Slot receiver goes in motion across the formation, takes the snap, looking, wide open man. He hits him on the far side, breaks a tackle. He's across the 30, and he's gone. A broken tackle leads to another explosive play, and just like that, St. Aug takes the lead.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. It was something that I saw was a problem. Those first tackles for Acadiana not bringing their receiver down, and on that play, the receiver broke a pair of tackles and was able to get in the end zone. Those one-on-one coverages with the defense, the defense is going to have to make those tackles, because if not, you're giving St. Aug the ability to get those yards after catch and find the end zone. So far, that's twice tonight that St. Aug finds the end zone on a yard after catch situation when Acadiana had the opportunity to make the tackle.
St. Aug is in a swinging gate formation. They're going to line up to kick this one away. 20-14 with 10:22 in the 2nd quarter, pending the point after. Snap is good. Kick is up. Kick is good. 21-14. We're going to take a break. Come on back for some more WRP here on YouTube.
Hey, Wreckin' Ram fans, that's right, I'm in Big D, and I don't mean Dallas, Dusson, Louisiana, where a dream became a destination. At Knox and Dusson, timeless family recipes get a personal twist. Every bite has Louisiana flavor, from plate lunches to specialty burgers, to po' boys, fresh seafood, both grilled and boiled. And every Thursday through Saturday, we turn up the charm with live music and our very own Cajun Exotico breakfast every other Saturday morning. And don't forget brunch every Sunday. So come down to Knox and Dusson, a proud supporter of Acadiana High School. Knox and Dusson, don't knock it till you try it. Go Rams!
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. St. Aug takes the lead 21-14 with 10:22 left to go in the first half. And they're going to kick this football away. High kick, a short kick, taken at the 15. Looking for a lane. Brings it back across the 30. I believe that was J.L. Malbrew on the return. So the Veer machine will have it 1st and 10 at about the 32-yard line.
We'll see if some adjustments have been made in game with what's happening offensively. But so far, the inside run game, what Acadiana wants to try to establish with the run game, hasn't worked. It hasn't been too much positive yardage happening offensively, and they're going to have to try something where they get more of either on the outside or maybe try more in the passing game, maybe some first down throws. But the game plan so far has not been successful as far as moving the football goes for Acadiana.
Two receivers to the far side, Gallion and Lamartina. DeBetta under center. Swings it. Gallion, it's complete. Looking for a block, he gets one. He's across the 40, he's across the 50, and he'll be pushed out of bounds on the other side of the football field, and Travis Gallion does it again, moves the sticks for the Wreckin Rams.
It's a clear mismatch on the outside of the football field where Gallion gets the ball and kind of makes a move and moves the football up the field. So it's something that they've exploited already for a touchdown. They exploited for a big first down. On fourth down, I like the idea of throwing right there on first down, keeping St. Aug on their toes and getting Travis the ball in space.
1st and 10. Handoff up the middle. Dives forward for a gain of 3. It's going to be 2nd and 7.
That's okay. You know, you can pass the ball to set up the run because Acadiana is always going to want to run the ball. You're never going to abandon the run, and that's not what we want to do. But softening up that defense on the inside is going to allow you to have an easier job of moving the football on the ground. And those pass plays to Gallion have worked so well tonight. Keep going to him. When you're stagnant, when your offense is not able to move the football, try to put Travis in an opportunity where he gets the ball and make something happen on the outside. That's going to soften you up on the inside and allow you to run the veer effectively.
2nd and 7. Two receivers near side. Lamartina lines up as a tight end. Handoff up the middle. Gain of 3. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's not pretty, but it's 3 yards. I mean, that's what you want. You want to get the 3-3-3 and move the football with the veer. And so far, that's what's happening. And I got to think it's because of that first down play to Gallion where you've kind of softened up what St. Aug was doing, where they were stopping all of those runs. And now Gallion running back out on the football field, now he's a threat. Now you have to worry about him. And once they start double covering Gallion, maybe you can throw it to Ty on the outside. Like, the outside plays are affecting what's going on here on the inside run.
3rd and 5. Snap. Handoff up the middle. I believe he has enough for a Wreckin Ram first down. Troy Kennerson on the carry to move the sticks.
Yeah, and it's all working out in unison. And we talked about St. Aug's offense having that balanced attack, and Acadiana wasn't really balanced, right? They would run on first, run on second, and then throw out of necessity. Those passing plays were working, but that wasn't how the offense was designed to operate. Now you're doing those designed first down runs. Now you have St. Aug's defense kind of thinking, what are they going to do here on first down? That's allowing Acadiana to run the ball.
Snap, drops back, swings it. Gallion, it's in and out of his hands.
Yeah, that's the second time that Colin doesn't really make a crisp throw. And when you do make the right throw, Gallion's going to make something happen right there. He had about a 3 or 4, 5 yard gain maybe if he catches the football, but the throw just not on target. DeBetta's got to make that throw a little bit easier for Travis to haul in, and then once he does haul it in, make something happen. But until you can make that throw, it's not a play that's going to gain you many yards.
Travis is going to come out the game here, but Ty Lamartina comes in. He'll be the near side receiver. Gabriel DeQueer on the far side. 2nd and 10. Trap play. Handoff up the middle, dives forward. Gain of 4. It's going to be 3rd and 6.
Yeah. The previous play, the throw to Gallion, even if Gallion hauls it in with the throw behind him, he's not going to get very many yards. So I'm sure they worked on that, and that throw's just got to be there. And look, it's a big moment. You got that St. Aug bed playing down on you. Big moments in the big game. We see Gallion coming out to make a play or make something happen or even be a decoy or whatever. But when Gallion's on the football field, St. Aug has to pay attention to him, and that will allow either himself to make a play or somebody else to be open and make a play.
Something to watch. They got a one-on-one with Travis Gallion down here. No safety help. Drops back to pass, looking. He's going to swing it to Gallion, but it's short of his intended receiver. 4th and 6. We'll have to see what Doug and James Estes wants to do here.
Yeah, that St. Aug pass rush got to Colin, and when Colin was bounced on the outside, that's not where he's comfortable to make that pass. And Gallion had maybe a half a step on the defender, and that throw would have had to have been perfect. Colin forced to throw off his back foot. Probably not going to be a highly successful play, but nonetheless, it looks like the Wreckin Rams are going to go it forward on 4th down. St. Aug pretty much knows they're going to put it in the air. I'm pretty sure they're paying attention to number 0 down there, so let's see what the Wreckin Rams drew up here.
Hard count, and that's going to get him. So that'll move it to a 4th and a long 1, maybe a 2 situation, and now you really open up the playbook. And listen, this is a veer machine. It's built for short runs. But you know, with the lack of interior run game that you had tonight, what are you thinking? Do you roll out? I don't know. What can Acadiana do here to move the stick?
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is really fall forward with one of those run games. But you're right, that interior run game has not been there so far. But we've seen the outside run where Galleon's open and Collins just not able to find him. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I would expect them to put the ball in the air, but if they run it and they fall forward with one of those trap plays or dive plays to get the yardage, you can see that happen as well.
Joseph and Kinnerson in the backfield. 3-step drop, rolls, looking, throws a fade route to Lamartina, and it's well wide of Ty, and that's going to turn the ball over. Don't know if I agree with that one. Nonetheless, 1st and 10 St. Aug.
Yeah, I wasn't watching what was going on with Travis. I don't know if he was double covered, but it seemed like that was a design play to come on this side, and the ball was going to Lamartina all the way. And just, Collins not very effective when he's rolling out like that and throwing the football. That's more of a play that Ty Lamartina makes. And, Cole, that's something that we haven't seen tonight. We haven't seen Ty under center. That could be a situation where you get Colin and Travis on the outside, and both of those guys create some kind of mismatch, and Ty has played an effective quarterback. So the offensive game plan is opening up. It seems like they are making the adjustments. They're just going to have to be more effective whenever they do. 2
receivers near side, 1 on the far side. Lewis in the backfield. Handoff goes to Lewis, turns the far side corner, breaks a tackle. He's across the 40, 45, 50, and a huge play on 1st down moves the sticks for the Purple Knights. And, folks, they have all the momentum right now.
And I tell you what, the one-on-ones where you got a man trying to make a tackle on St. Aug, it's just not happening for Acadiana. Every single time Acadiana has the ability to bring the Purple Knight down, they break the tackle and get more yards.
Handoff up the middle to Lewis. Breaks another tackle at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a gain of 5, 2nd and 5, and they're going quick. They're going so quick, the sticks on the far side weren't even set up yet before the snap happened.
Yeah, Acadiana is going to have to do a better job tackling. I mean, I'm sure they're seeing what's happening here, but the poor tackling is allowing St. Aug to get extra yards after first contact, and when they do that, it's not going to be a good night for the Acadiana defense.
Got to find a way to hang tough right here. 2nd and 5. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side. Coulon takes the snap, handoff up the middle. Lewis on the carry, snakes his way through the defense. Another big gain, moves the sticks for the Purple Knights, and Acadiana has no answer defensively right now.
And I don't like this at all, because when they're running the football this effectively, eventually Coulon's going to step back and throw it to one of those big receivers, and they're going to make a play. Acadiana's going to start selling out on the run, and he might catch him over the top.
They're going quick. Coulon keeping it himself, throws it, and it's out of bounds, well high of his intended receiver. It'll be 2nd and 10. So, maybe that was a little bit of a blessing for the Terrible Turks, because it stops the clock and lets this defense get a rest. And, I'm not going to criticize St. Aug's offense right now. They're moving the ball very well, but with how well they've been running it up the middle, I would have stuck with that.
Yeah, and when you're in a hurry-up offense, a tempo offense like this at high school, so much can go wrong. And right there, I think it was just a crossed-up route there for the St. Aug Purple Knights.
2nd and 10, Cohen Davis, the freshman running back in the backfield with Coulon. Handoff goes to Davis, snakes his way through that defensive line, and another big gain. And there we go, Nick, I just said it. Moves the sticks for the Purple Knights. They are having way too much success on that delayed run up the middle.
And this feels like the first time really in this football game that you're feeling the effects of missing big number 87 on that defensive line. They're just taking advantage of his absence, exploiting the holes and getting big gains.
Handoff goes to Davis once again, bounces outside, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and he'll step out of bounds after about a gain of 6. It's going to be 2nd and 4.
Man, the tackling hasn't been very strong all season. It's been an issue for the Wreckin Rams, but tonight it's really reared its ugly head, and they're just not able to bring him down on first contact. The Purple Knights are breaking that first tackle just about every time, and it's allowing them to get extra yards and move this football.
2nd and 6. Guess he stepped out a little sooner than I expected. 2 receivers near side. Coulon takes the snap, throws a slant. It's a swing route to the tight end. Gain of 5, and I believe it's going to be 3rd and 1.
Hey, and a nice tackle from Keon. I mean, if we're going to talk about a missing tackle, Keon makes that tackle and doesn't allow to get a big explosive play. Nonetheless, it sets up a 3rd and short, and really their entire playbook is open right here. They've been running the ball very effectively. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe try to take a shot over the top or just run it and pick up this 1st down.
Davis on the carry, Snakes his way past the defensive line once again, and it's going to be 1st and goal for St. Aug.
Those gaps in the defense are so big. I mean, the blocking scheme for St. Aug is just allowing huge gaps. I mean, anybody couldn't run through him, especially a very effective running back like what St. Aug has there. And the gap is so big, he's just finding it, not really making any shifty or crafty moves. The hole's so big, and he's just getting positive yards when he hits it.
Handoff up the middle to Davis once again.
Man, look at that.
Snakes his way into the end zone.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. That was way too easy for St. Aug. Those gaps were so big. On that play, he had multiple gaps in the defensive line that he could have ran through and found the end zone. And that was just a very effective run game from St. Aug on that drive. I don't think they put it in the air aside from that play that went on the outside that went incomplete, but they just kept the ball on the ground and ran. Those gaps were so big. The blocking scheme was so perfect for that running back to run right through it as St. Aug takes a 2-score lead.
You know, for those listening or viewing at home, if you're familiar with Tad Gormley Stadium, they have a pretty tall press box over here, and we're fortunate to kind of be on top of our fans. And I'm going to tell you what, Nick, I got to point this out. There is zero life on the Acadiana sideline right now, and it's because St. Aug just rattled off 28 unanswered points.
Yeah, you wouldn't even think that at one point in this football game, Acadiana was winning by 14. But yeah, they rattled off those 28 straight points. And we knew it was going to be a struggle to keep St. Aug off the scoreboard. But ever since they got that kickoff return for a touchdown, it has been all Purple Knights in this football game.
Something's got to shake for the Wreckin' Rams. We're going to take a break with 4:54 left to go in the half. St. Aug leads this one 28-14. Come on back for some more WRP.
The relationship with Star and Acadiana High School started this spring when they were awarded the contract to service all of our schools, and the service has been tremendous. Our schools are cool, our teachers are happy, our parents are happy, and most importantly, our students are happy because when they enter those classrooms, it's comfortable, it's safe, and it's a good learning environment for our students. Just like Acadiana High, we set the standard in education. Star sets the standard on service.
Star is all about service. That's what we wanted, that's what we needed. We needed the proper service maintenance program. That is what Star does. That is the basis of their business, service and maintenance, which lessens the repairs and the replacements. Our service calls are dropping. Our repair calls are dropping. Our replacement.
Welcome back. Kick return's going to bring them out just past the 35 to about the 37-yard line, and that's where the Veer machine will have it, 1st and 10. Thought for a second there was a Wreckin' Ram down on the play, but hops back up and comes off to the sideline, and a big offensive drive right here for Acadiana with 4:48 left to go in the half. Have to find a way to get to the end zone and salvage any kind of momentum, you know, going into the second half.
You mentioned it in passing as we went into the last break. Something's got to shake, right? Something's got to be different offensively for the Wreckin' Rams. And remember, St. Aug will get the ball at halftime. So if you go 3 and out here, give them an opportunity to score again and play make it take it.
3-step drop, slant, in and out of the hands of Travis Gallion. Unfortunately, that's about the second or third ball we've seen Travis not hang on to tonight. And I'm not knocking him because up to this point, you know, he's been the offense. Yeah. So, but those are the kind of plays that are, you know, earlier in this game we're going Acadiana's way. That's right there once again, no longer you could say that.
And that's the momentum swing that has happened after that kickoff return, where everything that was going Acadiana's way early has suddenly not gone their way, and St. Aug's taking full advantage of it.
2nd and 10. Busted play.
Oh.
Colin DeBetta gets sacked.
Cole, you talked about something having to shake. This is not what we were talking about. I mean, it seems like the game plan is just sloppy, clunky, and it's not working. Again, one of the touchdowns was on an explosive play to Gallion. The other touchdown was aided by a turnover from St. Aug. But honestly, the offense for Acadiana hasn't been able to sustain a drive, hasn't been able to get anything going without those 2 fortunate instances for the Wreckin' Rams. You know, nothing offensively has really gone your way.
Somebody's got to make a big play here. 3rd and long. Snap. DeBetta being chased. He's just going to have to throw this one away, and it's picked off. Picked off at about the 40, brought back to the 33-yard line. And St. Augustine is having a field day down there on the field. 3:56 left, and they're in plus territory to get more points.
Great pass rush from St. Aug, kind of forces Colin out of the pocket, and once he was out there throwing off his back foot, really had no chance. I think he tried to get a little bit more on it than he did, kind of hung in the air, and St. Aug defender makes the interception, and now you're in just about the worst spot you could be in this football game, where St. Aug has really good field position on the 34-yard line. If they were able to score here before halftime, they get the ball coming out of half, and so you're pretty much you have to stop him here. If you don't stop him here, this game is going to be well out of reach.
2 receivers far side, 1 to the near side. Noble in the backfield. Coulon going to tuck it himself across the 30, tiptoes out of bounds. Have to see where they spot him. I think he's going to be a couple yards shy of the stick. It should be 2nd and about 2.
I'll say it's really a credit to St. Aug. I mean, they got punched in the mouth early, 14-0. Acadiana scored 2 quick ones, and ever since then, they've settled in and really taken advantage of this taking control of this football game. They're playing their style of football, and it's giving Acadiana fits on both sides.
2nd and 3. Noble in the backfield with Coulon. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side. Handoff goes to Noble, looking to turn the corner on the far side, and he will have enough for a Purple Knight first down. Ball's going to be respotted at the 21-yard line.
Inside runs, outside runs, passes, quick screens, whatever St. Aug wants to do, they're having success. I mean, they've opened up their playbook. They've run everything. They have a balanced attack. And so far on these last 2 drives, it really hasn't been balanced. It's been run. They have run the football on these last 2 drives, and they've had tremendous success with every single play from scrimmage.
1st and 10, ball at the 21. 2 receivers near side, 1 far side. Noble in the backfield, flag on the play. False start against the Purple Knights will back them up 5. Ball's going to be respotted at the 26. It's going to be 1st and 15.
And I'm not really sure what the defensive scheme is for Acadiana that's allowing these massive holes in the line for the St. Aug running back to just run through and get these big gains. I mean, nothing's really working defensively, and St. Aug is exploiting everything that Acadiana is showing them.
Takes the snap. Coulon going to throw it across the middle of the field. Waiting for a signal. I believe it's complete for a 14-yard gain, and just like that, what was a 1st and 15 is now a 2nd and 1.
Coulon's been kind of quiet as far as passing the football. He hasn't really aired it out, hasn't really had to. I mean, the Purple Knights have 28 points on the board, and we thought he was going to air it out a lot more than he has, but the running game's really been working for St. Aug, and right there they got a little bit behind the sticks on 1st down. He rears back and finds a nice slant pass for a big gain, setting up this 2nd and short.
2nd and 1, 2 receivers to each side of the formation. St. Aug's going to take a timeout, and we're going to go ahead and take a short timeout as well. 28-14, the Wreckin' Rams trail in this ball game with 2:33 left to go in the half. Come on back for some more WRP here on YouTube.
At the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office, we believe building a strong organization starts with preparation, leverages teamwork, and harnesses the character of each individual. While using cutting-edge technologies and state-of-the-art equipment, our brave deputies are dedicated to keeping you and your loved ones safe. We're more than law enforcement. We're a team working together in service of our communities. The Acadiana Wreckin' Rams know a lot about service, teamwork, and winning. When you're ready to join our championship team, come by or give us a call.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. 28-14, your Wreckin' Rams trailing this one with 2:33 left to go in the half. St. Aug has the ball, 2nd and 1. I believe that is about at the 13-yard line. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Slot receiver goes in motion. 3 receivers now to the near side. Snap, Coulon looking, he's going to swing it out to his running back. Got to see where they spot him. I think it'll be no gain. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, something's going to have to happen here. Some kind of monumental play, some turning point, a turnover, a defensive score. Something like that is the only way Acadiana is going to get back in. They can't allow St. Aug to find the end zone here on this drive. Even if you hold them to 3, that would be a big win here. But if St. Aug somehow finds the end zone on this drive, it's going to be really tough for Acadiana to come back in
and
this
keep
game.
in mind, this is a make-it-take-it situation.
Correct.
They will get the ball to start the second half.
That's why it's so important to keep them out of the end zone. And Acadiana's taking a timeout. I like the timeout because this is a very big moment in this game. Like, if you don't understand the ramifications of what's going on here, St. Aug already up by 2 scores, knocking on the door of going up by 3 scores, and the potential to get the ball out of halftime, scoring out of halftime would put them up by 4 scores. So somehow Acadiana has to keep them off the scoreboard. And honestly, if they kick 3 points, that would be a win. Acadiana will have, if they were to get keep them to a field goal, Acadiana would have a little bit over a minute to maybe try to make something happen. But again, the offense hasn't been able to move the football. The only thing that's really been that's gone right is the big play to Gallion that got you that 93-yard touchdown. It's been plays that you can't hang your hat on that's gotten Acadiana the 14 points. It's not anything that was in the game plan. It wasn't a sustained drive. It wasn't the veer working like you needed to work for you to win this football game. It's been plays that you take them, obviously. I mean, you're not going to take the points off the board, but it wasn't anything that you were like, all right, and then Gallion's going to get a 93-yarder and we'll get a touchdown. That's just something that happened. And so it's going to take a play or two just like that, where it's something that you're not counting on that Acadiana is going to have to make to get back in this game.
Something's got to give for the Wreckin' Rams. 3rd and 2. Coulon hands it off up the middle to Noble. He's met right away, and I think that's no gain. It's going to be 4th and 2. We will have to see how aggressive the Purple Knights want to be right here.
And look, that St. Aug has had that play all night long. They've had big gains. Credit to the defense closing in that gap and making a stop. And now St. Aug has a big decision. Are they going to kick the field goal? Are they going to stay on? It looks like the offense is going to stay on the field. They're going for it on 4th down.
Look at this formation. And a great timeout by Doug Dotson, because 4 receivers stacked on that far side in an empty backfield. But Acadiana takes the timeout, and I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick one as well. Come on back. We'll bring you the end of this first half here on WRP.
Uncle T's Oyster Bar in Scott is your destination for Acadiana's best local seafood.
Featuring delicious oysters, po' boys, specialty dishes, boiled crawfish, and happy hour specials.
Uncle T's across the railroad tracks in Scott.
Serving Gulf oysters just the way
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the certainty of this delivery.
This team will make a push in January.
Absolutely, they're still in it.
But getting that delivery.
What do you think, Johnny?
How do you know my name?
You're wearing a name tag.
Oh, yeah. 2-second rule?
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. 1:28 left to go in the first half. St. Aug with the lead in this one, 28-14. But a big 4th and 3 right here. And the Terrible Turks have to do everything they can to get off the football field and give the ball back to that veer machine.
Massive 4th down play to close the half. Acadiana has to find its way off the field on this play.
3 receivers stacked on the far side, 1 receiver near side. Coulon keeps it himself, runs it up the middle. We're going to have to see where they spotted him, Nick. It's going to be very close, and I'm going to be honest, I think he's short.
From our angle, it does look short. It looks like where the referee is. That's just so big. I mean, it looked imminent, right? It looked like nothing was going your way, and the ability to get off the football field, not allow the Purple Knights to put more points on the board and eliminate that make it, take it, right? We know that St. Aug is getting the ball out of halftime, but credit to the defense for stepping up big. A really bad position to be in, backs against the wall. St. Aug knocking on the end zone, nothing going right defensively. St. Aug gashing your defense at every step of the way, and somehow you bend, don't break, you clamp down right at the end and don't allow St. Aug to put more points on the board. Great job by the defense for keeping the Wreckin' Rams in this football game.
1:21 left to go in this half. Can the veer machine go just under 90 yards? 2 receivers near side. Ty Lamartina under center. 3-step. Pump fakes. Looking to throw it.
Oh,
that's a live ball.
That's a live ball. That is a live ball. That's going to be
a live ball.
Yeah, that's
going
to
be
a
safety. And this is a safety.
Yes.
Ty Lamartina gets pressured right away and was just trying to swing it out to Travis Gallion. Unfortunately, his pass was behind the line of scrimmage and through the back of the end zone, and St. Aug takes a 30-14 lead.
Wow.
And they get the ball.
Yeah, any bit of good momentum that you might have had from that stop just went away in one play. Goes right behind him through the end zone, and St. Aug's going to get 2 points in the ball. And in a minute 13, they might be able to go down there and score some more points. I mean, you just couldn't do that. It would have been better to just take a knee. I know you're trying to make something happen, and you know, putting Tyler Martina in that spot at this part of the game, he hasn't had any snaps so far. To ask him to come in right there and make something happen with a minute 20 on the clock, you know, he's a gamer, and we know that he can make big plays, but right there for his first play from scrimmage to try to get down the field and put points on the board. Might have been better to just take the knee and go into halftime. I know you don't want to give St. Aug the opportunity to put more points on the board coming out because they're going to get the ball, but where you were on the field that far back and trying a new quarterback, you know, in hindsight, maybe you do that, but nonetheless, the defense is going to have to step up again. And again, we've leaned on the defense all night long. Step up again. Don't allow St. Aug to drive down the field in this minute 13.
Another thing of note, after the safety, they're going to have to kick this ball away at the 20, so Josh Marquez is going to have to do everything he can. And, you know, folks, if you've been tuned in the whole time, first touchdown of the night for St. Aug was a kick return, so very dangerous position to be in. Got to find a way to keep them out of the end zone before the half because it could get really ugly really quick, even uglier than what it is now, Nick. Marquez on to kick this one away. He's going to kick it deep. Returners at the 25, brought in just shy of the 20. Across the 40, looking for a lane. Met at about the 50, and he'll be tackled across the 50 at the 49-yard line. So a minute 6 left to go in this half, and St. Aug is in plus territory.
I think they have 2 timeouts left, and I would be willing to bet they're going to be putting it in the air and trying to get down the field and put more points on the board. And, man, so unfortunate because you were feeling pretty good. It was the only way you were going to stay in this game was to keep them off the scoreboard. You kept them off the scoreboard, and the very first play, the ball's back in their hands. We talked about it in the pregame. Keeping the football out of the St. Aug offense was the only way Acadiana was going to win this football game, and somehow, some way, St. Aug's found the ball with a minute left to go in this first half.
3 receivers near side. I believe that's Noble in the backfield with Coulon. Flag on the play. Flag in the defensive backfield. Not sure what this one is. They were counting bodies, but Acadiana has 11 on the field. I think this might just be a mistake by the ref. She might have to pick this one up. Yeah, they're going to wave it off. So, like I said, I thought if the thinking is correct, might have thought there was 12 on the field, drop the flag, count them out, but it's 11. That Wreckin' Ram math comes in strong. 1st and 10 for the Purple Knights, ball to the 49. 3 receivers near side. Lewis in the backfield. Coulon going to swing it out. It's complete. Dives forward at about the 45-yard line. Gain of 5. 2nd and 5. That was Miguel Whitley on the catch.
St. Aug has 30 points in this football game, but they haven't really had too many explosive plays. It's been grinding out drives, but they're going to have to go quicker if they're going to want to find the end zone.
Coulon rolls out. Far side, looking downfield, keeping his eyes downfield, throws it downfield, well wide of his intended receiver. I believe that was the tight end. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Great coverage by the secondary. We mentioned them as a key to the football game. They were going to have to cover what was going on downfield for St. Aug, and so far they've done a really good job. We were talking about those explosive plays on first down not really being a factor in this football game. I think that's a credit to what the secondary's been doing. The running game for St. Aug has worked a lot better. We were expecting the Purple Knights to air it out a little bit and have more success through the air, but the Wreckin' Ram secondary has done a really good job of covering what they're trying to do.
3rd and 5. Ball at the 45, line to gain, the 40. Snap, Coulon looking, swings it. It's complete, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 35. Gain of 10, way too easy, moves the sticks.
Yeah, simple little play right there. Probably not playing tight enough coverage on the outside as you would like right there, and the play is able to pick up the 5 yards on the first down. St. Aug moving the football. It's not explosive plays, but it's very effective play, and that 10-yard gain right there is going to get them going offensively.
1st and 10, ball of the 35. Coulon takes the snap, rolls out far side, throws it downfield, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
The coverage was there for Acadiana, but he made a good move, and he ended up being wide open. Throw wasn't there for Coulon. That's going to bring up 2nd downs. But I'm very impressed with this secondary and what they've been able to do. We saw him get that big 10-yard play on the soft coverage, but the secondary so far has covered him on the outside and limited the explosiveness of this St. Aug offense.
2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Coulon throws it across the middle of the field, in and out of the hands of Keon Leday. And I'm going to tell you what, Nick, if Keon Leday hangs on to that ball, he could have took it down the far sideline. There was nobody that would have caught him.
Yeah, if he makes one move to the outside, he's probably going to get a pick 6, and that's what it's going to take to get back in this game. A play that you're not counting on. Somebody's going to have to make something happen, and a play like that where Dave Leday could have come up with it and gone the other way. That's the way Acadiana is going to have to get back in this game. So far, the normal play calling of the offense hasn't worked. It's going to take something to spark what's going on with Acadiana, and that would have been massive if he could have come up with it.
3rd and 10. 3 receivers far side, 1 near side. Coulon all alone in the backfield. Drops back. Deep ball. Well over the head of his intended receiver, Whitley. I don't know what happened. Whitley just quit running the route.
Yeah, it looked like he might be injured. Looks like he's going off to the sideline. Maybe he got hampered with a hamstring or an ankle or something like that. But, yeah, he stopped running. I'm not sure it would have been complete if he had maintained his route. But nonetheless, that ball was overthrown, and Acadiana not allowing St. Aug to get that explosive play has really put you in a position to maybe get off the field with not allowing more points before halftime.
Yeah, St. Aug's going to take a timeout, but we're going to go ahead and keep it here with only 18 seconds left to go in the half. Listen, we were a little hard on the Terrible Turks earlier on, but the last 2 drives, they're able to stop St. Aug and get off the field. I believe, unless they want to go for it, which, with 18 seconds might not be the smartest decision. You got to tip your cap. They were able to find a way to make some stops and get a little bit of momentum back. Certainly, keeping them off the scoreboard is huge because you don't want them to play a make-it-take-it situation like we mentioned so many times in this half. I don't know. Got to stand tough one more time if they do decide to bring that offense out. And like you mentioned, it's almost like St. Aug just totally abandoned that run game. And rightfully so, the clock's winding down in this half. But, before that, they had, 2 timeouts? I don't know. Just Acadiana's defensive backs really doing a good job of limiting what they're able to do. Like you mentioned, not a lot of explosive plays. There's been a couple, most of which are because of broken tackles. Got to clean up that. But once again, Acadiana doing a fine job the last 2 drives, and now we'll get to see what St. Aug wants to do offensively here. There's been so many games this year that we've leaned on the defense to make plays and keep us in the game, and that's what they've done so far here on these last 2 drives. The offense, the St. Aug offense was running their plays very easily. They've made the adjustments, and really, if Acadiana is to come back in this football game, it's going to be because of what the defense was able to do on these last 2 drives in the first half. So Coulon will come back out. It's a 4th and 10 situation. Ball at the 35, line to gain to 25. Terrible Turks got to stand tall one more time. Coulon goes to the sideline. They don't even have the play clock on yet.
Yeah, the play clock's blinking.
I believe that's the problem. They're having issues with the play clock. Got to get that figured out. So they're going to huddle up here. Play clock is reset.
As ugly as this game has gone after the 14-0 start for Acadiana, it's only a 2-score football game, right? If you can get off the football field and not allow the Purple Knights to find the end zone here, you're not in horrible shape going into halftime.
Running back swings out far side. They're going to swing a near side tunnel screen, and he's got nothing but green grass. Inside the 10, ball's on the ground.
You got to hop on that.
Ball's on the ground. Acadiana forces a fumble. The ball goes through the back of the end zone. This should be a touchback.
It should be a touchback.
And it will be. An incredible job by the Terrible Turks, doing whatever they can to keep the Purple Knights off the scoreboard. Forces a fumble goes out the back of the end zone. Man, what is happening in this half?
Well, that's the thing about this game is that what Acadiana is trying to do on offense and what they're trying to do on defense is not working. And so it's going to take those plays where, you can't really count on a turnover. You can't count on a 93-yarder to Travis, but that's what it's going to take for Acadiana to be in this game. That's the only reason why they have the 14 points that they have. They got the turnover in the first quarter where they were able to take advantage of it. They got the slant route to Travis, and he took it 93 yards. Like, a play like that is how you stay in the game. And that play right there for St. Aug was a perfect play. They got the tunnel screen. He runs it up. He's got green grass. He's going into the end zone. Somebody makes a play, and you get a turnover to get the touchback. Now you're going into halftime only down 2 scores.
Yeah, it looks like Acadiana's just going to opt to take the knee and run this one out.
I mean, how big is that turnover, right? You're about to go down 3 scores, and St. Augustine getting the ball out of halftime. Instead, you force that turnover, get the touchback. Now you're still only down 2 scores. How much mentally going into halftime do you feel like you're still in this football game down only 2 scores? It's been ugly. St. Augustine dominated this game. There's no doubt about it. But you're only down 2 scores. Like, the difference between being down 2 scores and being down 3 scores is so monumental. So it's so fortunate that we were able to get that turnover. Now something's going to happen where the defense can maintain this momentum that they've had. The last 2 drives were great for the defense. It was not great leading up to that. But these last 2 drives is something that you can hang your hat on. It's something that you can feel good about. Coming out of halftime, we know the Purple Knights are getting the ball. You have to maintain that and get the ball back offensively. And then once the offense gets the ball, something's going to have to shake. Something's going to have to be a little bit different. I like the idea of putting Tyler Martina under center. He made the unfortunate play to give up the safety, but we've seen where when he's quarterback and you get those 2 guys, you get Colin and Travis outside, it changes something up. What the offensive game plan was going into this game has to adjust at halftime and make something different. Acadiana is not out of this football game. It's been ugly. It's been bad. Nothing's going right. Only down 2 scores is not the end of the world, but you're going to have to make some adjustments to what your game plan was, and if they do that, Acadiana could have an opportunity to get back in this football game.
Well, I could say this. They were not expecting to be shut down in the run game. The Veer machine thrives off of running the football, and St. Aug has completely taken it away. We don't have live stats, but I would be very curious to see what the running numbers, the rushing numbers are for the Wreckin Rams. Yeah, I mean, Travis Gallion has been the entire offense, especially early on in this ball game with a 93-yard, touchdown reception. And keep in mind, both of the big plays that Gallion had to extend those first 2 drives were on 3rd down plays. He had to make a play to extend the drive, and then, Colin DeBetta on that option play runs it into the end zone to take a 14-0 lead at the time. But man, how big, and I know to hindsight is 20/20, but how big was that kick return for St. Aug? That is what completely turned the tide. Acadiana had full momentum. The opposing side where St. Aug is was 100% dead. It was a party down here, and then the kick return totally flipped the light switch in this football game.
It definitely sparked what they were doing offensively, and Acadiana kind of lost their swagger that they had early in the game. You talked about Travis Gallion making those 2 plays. How about the plays that didn't happen for him? How about the wide open looks that he had where the throw wasn't on target, where Travis could have made even a bigger impact on this game? So Travis is presenting a mismatch for what St. Aug is showing defensively. That's something that needs to be exploited a little more. Look, it's a tall task to come back in this football game. Yes, being down 2 scores is not something that you can't overcome, but it's still 2 scores. And we know St. Aug is going to get the ball back coming out of halftime. So it's a tall task for Acadiana to come back and win this football game. Something's going to have to change on the offensive side of the football with the game plan that Acadiana wanted to run and switch it up and try to catch St. Aug off guard and make one of those bigger plays that you're not counting on. Get a pick 6. We saw Keon Day almost have an opportunity to make one right there. Make that play, right? We saw those throws to Travis that weren't executed correctly. Execute those passes. If you do those things, Acadiana can have a chance to win this football game. If you don't, if you maintain status quo of what happened in the first half, St. Aug's going to take care of business.
Yeah, I like what you said about Tyler Martina getting him some more snaps because, if you do that, you let Colin DeBetta go out wide in his natural position with all of his speed and athleticism, and then you got to guard both Travis Gallion and Colin DeBetta. At this point, it's do or die. Yeah. You got to make the proper adjustments to do whatever you can to win the game. And guess what? If that means Acadiana has to come out and air the ball out, I'm not opposed to it because at this point in the season, you got to do whatever you can to win. And it's been evident that the run game is just not there tonight.
And I know Tyler Martina made the mistake and threw the ball out of the end zone on his first play from scrimmage to allow the safety. I do not think think that should eliminate him from the game plan at quarterback. I think he should get an opportunity to play quarterback. He's played a good quarterback for you all year long. Yes, he made a mistake, but don't abandon the opportunity to have those mismatches with Colin and Travis. Get LaMartinez some more snaps under center, and I think Acadiana might be able to make something happen.
Well, again, I want to tip our cap to the Terrible Turks for the last 2 drives of that half, really stopping the Purple Knight offense from extending their lead and playing that make it, take it that we talk about. But it is a 30-14 lead for St. Aug. At halftime, down on the field is the St. Aug Marching Band, world famous. I believe they performed in the Super Bowl, correct me if I'm not, a couple years ago in the Superdome. And a very talented group, very loud, but not only loud, they're a phenomenal unit. We, of course, it's playoff time. We want to show some love to the local teams, and I'm going to rattle through some scores of interest. Currently, in the third quarter, John Curtis over STM 28-0. Turlings Catholic over Bonneville 28-14 at the half. Southside hanging on a 36-22 lead over Terrebonne in the second quarter. LCA over Parkview Baptist 29-0 in the third quarter. St. Charles 42, Northside 0 at halftime. And last one I have right here, Notre Dame 14, De La Salle 13 at the half. So that's a couple of scores of interest. We're going to go ahead and take our halftime break. Come on back for the beginning of the second half in a little bit. Stick around for more WRP here on YouTube.
Oh yeah. The band will now play the tune, Give It To Me Right, featuring our beautiful Golden Hearts dance team. Beautiful, ladies, beautiful. And there you have it, folks. The band is under the direction of Mr. Darren Rogers Jr., Assistant Directors, Mr. LeBron Joseph, James McCray, Todd Terragano, Roy Simmons, Dorian Jones, and Terry Robinson. Much love to our support staff. And I'm your MC, King Grimes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, peace.
Insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the experience of this trainer,
Good to go.
but getting that trainer.
Megan Trainer. I'm all about that brace, no trouble. Give me your arm.
No, it's not for that.
Who are you?
Patrick, I play football.
This is Patrick, everyone. Give it up for Patrick. He does sports.
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Why is no one clapping?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At Southern Classic Chicken, we take pride in serving the freshest, seasoned, and marinated hand-breaded fried chicken. It's so good, it's wrong. Add in tasty sides like our zesty Cajun seasoned fries, savory red beans and rice, or sweet corn grits. Drive through today and pick up a family box or one of our classic combos and enjoy a true Southern classic. Oh, and don't forget the pepper.
Hey, Wreckin' Ram fans, that's right, I'm in Big D, and I don't mean Dallas, Dusson, Louisiana, where a dream became a destination. At Knox and Dusson, timeless family recipes get a personal twist. Every bite has Louisiana flavor, from plate lunches to specialty burgers, to po' boys, fresh seafood, both grilled and boiled. And every Thursday through Saturday, we turn up the charm with live music and our very own Cajun Exotico breakfast every other Saturday morning. And don't forget brunch every Sunday. So come down to Knox and Dusson, a proud supporter of Acadiana High School. Knox and Dusson, don't knock it till you try it. Go Rams!
The relationship with Star and Acadiana High School started this spring when they were awarded the contract to service all of our schools, and the service has been tremendous. Our schools are cool, our teachers are happy, our parents are happy, and most importantly, our students are happy because when they enter those classrooms, it's comfortable, it's safe, and it's a good learning environment for our students. Just like Acadiana High, we set the standard in education. Star sets the standard on service.
Star is all about service. That's what we wanted, that's what we needed. We needed the proper service maintenance program. That is what Star does. That is the basis of their business, service and maintenance, which lessens the repairs and the replacements. Our service calls are dropping. Our repair calls are dropping. Our replacement calls are dropping. Just as Acadiana High is synonymous with championships in football, Star is synonymous with service. Ladies and gentlemen, it's in the name.
Star and Acadiana High School, we're both elite. Be elite.
Uncle T's Oyster Bar in Scott is your destination for Acadiana's best local seafood.
Featuring delicious oysters, po' boys, specialty dishes, boiled crawfish, and happy hour specials.
Uncle T's across the railroad tracks in Scott.
Serving Gulf oysters just the way you like them.
At the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office, we believe building a strong organization starts with preparation, leverages teamwork, and harnesses the character of each individual. While using cutting-edge technologies and state-of-the-art equipment, our brave deputies are dedicated to keeping you and your loved ones safe. We're more than law enforcement. We're a team working together in service of our communities. The Acadiana Wreckin Rams know a lot about service, teamwork, and winning. When you're ready to join our championship team, come by or give us a call.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready.
Let's get it.
You know, Southern Classic Chicken is a North Louisiana favorite, famous for crispy chicken and that pepper on the side. And they've kept it simple, fresh, and full of flavor. And now, for the first time, they're franchising. And guess what? Lafayette, the hub city, is the very first franchise location. I'm excited because I've heard great things about the chicken. And you know, one thing about people here in Southwest Louisiana, we love good food, and we understand that's what we can expect with Southern Classic Chicken.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the experience of this trainer,
Good to go.
but getting that trainer.
Megan Trainer. I'm all about that brace, no trouble. Give me your arm.
No, it's not for that.
Who are you?
Patrick, I play football.
This is Patrick, everyone. Give it up for Patrick. He does sports.
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Why is no one clapping?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At Southern Classic Chicken, we take pride in serving the freshest, seasoned, and marinated hand-breaded fried chicken. It's so good, it's wrong. Add in tasty sides like our zesty Cajun seasoned fries, savory red beans and rice, or sweet.
Ram Nation, welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. St. Aug is going to come in this half leading 30-14, and not only that, they get the first half kickoff. So got a big, tall task to deal with, and we're going to have to see what halftime adjustments were made by your Acadiana Wreckin Rams. You know what? While we have time, I got to give some shout-outs. Got some family watching at home. Got a big house party at my mom and dad's house. Kelly and Greg Gilbo, Vernon Crater, all that crew, Logan Primo. Thank you all for watching out in Giudice, Louisiana. One more, I want to say Knox and Dusson. I know they always got us in on the TV out there at Knox and Dusson. And really, we want to thank all of you guys for tuning in each and every Friday night. You guys are what makes this production possible each and every week, and your love for Acadiana football does not go unnoticed, especially, you know, when we get to, as a broadcast crew at the end of the shows and stuff, we're amazed with how many viewers watch the game because, you know, once YouTube, you finalize everything, it gives you those numbers. And I tell you what, man, there are a lot of people around the state that really care about this program, and we have a tall task in front of us, guys. We're gonna have to put a stop to St. Aug early on in this half. Onside kick. I think they got it, Nick. Onside kick is successful, and the Veer machine is going to steal a drive. I'm out here saying that the Terrible Turks are going to have to stand up tall one more time and really, get a little momentum back. You know what? Josh Marquez said, hold on a minute, I'll do it myself.
Well, we're in New Orleans, and I know the play didn't happen here, but the famous ambush play from Super Bowl 44 happened in Miami, but it happened with the New Orleans Saints and Sean Payton. So people around here are familiar with the ambush play, and Acadiana does their own version of ambush and steals a drive. Fantastic call on special teams by the Wreckin' Rams.
Ty Lambertino will start the half at quarterback. 2 receivers near side, Gallion and DeBetta. And they wind the play clock. Here we go. 1st and 10 Rams. Swings it. DeBetta. Ball's on the ground.
I don't think he had it.
Incomplete pass. Could have went both ways. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
We talked about going into halftime that a play that you weren't counting on was going to have to happen. Something big, something to create a spark. That's what can happen right there with that ambush play where you get the ball, you weren't expecting to have the ball at this point, and you do. You're still a possession there. That's what has to happen for Acadiana to win this game. Now they got to capitalize. That first play, not ideal, but the offense is going to have to find a way to sustain a drive, get a couple of first downs, drive down the field, and punch in a touchdown and get yourself back in this football game. You have the opportunity to do it right here. Something's going to have to shake offensively.
2nd and 10, ball to the 49. Lambertina takes a snap, hands it off to Kinnerson, looking for a lane. Not able to bounce it outside, only gets a gain of 2. It's going to be 3rd and 8.
Yeah, looked like he had good blocks out there. Looked like he was going to have an opportunity to bust it outside, but the St. Aug defense closed in and stifled what was going to happen there. So now you're looking at a 3rd and long. You're in a passing down situation where you've had a little bit of success in this game, but when you become predictable, when the defense kind of knows what you're going to do, it's not advantageous for you offensively. And with the way Acadiana struggled to do anything positively offensively, this is not where you want to be on 3rd down.
2 receivers to the far side, going to be DeBetta and Gallion. Lambertina under center. Snap. Drops back. Throws it across the middle of the field. It's complete. Travis Gallion. He's gone. Touchdown Rams. Travis Gallion does it once again on 3rd down, and Acadiana cuts this lead 30-20, pending the point after.
And when their backs are against the wall, they end up finding Gallion. This time, Lamartina finds him on a slant route on 3rd down, and he takes it to the house. And those are the plays right there that really have Acadiana in this football game. A big play that you're not really counting on, something that hasn't really been a big part of your offense. We've seen him go outside to Gallion a couple times, and he's broken one, but it hasn't been a consistent part of your offense. Right now, a slant play to Gallion gets you his 2nd touchdown of the night.
This is going to be offsides, Nick.
You got to go for 2 here.
You got to go for 2.
Yeah, you're down by 10. If you go for 2 and get it, it makes it a 1-score football game. I'm surprised they didn't go for 2 anyway on that play without the offsides. But the offsides is going to put you 1 yard closer. You got to go for it here to make this a 1-score game.
And they will. Offense is going to come on the field. Now, my question to you, with the lack of the run game that we've had so far,
yeah, you would think
you are on the 1 yard line.
You would think you could fall forward and get 2 yards. It doesn't even have to be a very effective run play to get in the end zone. And we've seen Acadiana do that all night long where, we look at a 2-yard gain as not a positive, but here a 2-yard gain gets you what you need. So I would say the entire playbook is open here on this spot. I would probably think they're going to put it in the air, but they could run it.
I'm going to go run. Lambertina under center, in tight. Handoff up the middle. Met at the goal line, but I do believe he got in. We're just waiting for the call.
Got it.
And Acadiana gets 2. 30-22. Acadiana out the gate, cuts it to a 1-score game, and things just got a whole lot more interesting. We're going to take a quick break. Come on back for some more WRP here on YouTube.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready.
Let's get it.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. Acadiana cuts the lead, but still trailing this one 30-22 with 11:01 left to go in the third quarter. They tried to pull a little bit of that Karen Crow fake onside right there, but Acadiana's going to reset.
Well, they
Josh
saw it
Marquez.
2 weeks in a row. I mean, hey, maybe we can use the our advantage.
Hey, never know. Josh Marquez on to kick it away. It's a sky kick and a pretty good one. Brought in at the 15. Return man across the 30. Tackled at about the 35-yard line, and that's where the Purple Knights will have it 1st and 10.
Man, how this game has turned on that one play, the ambush onside kick to get you the ball back, and then the play to Gallion to make this a one-score game. And Cole, at the end of that first half, the defense really clamped down and didn't allow St. Aug to find the end zone. Now, they had some success moving the football down there, but once they got down there, the defense really stepped up. They fixed what was working for St. Aug with those big gaps running the football, weren't allowing St. Aug to get those big gains and kind of clamped down. And now, when this game felt out of reach and felt like nothing was going your way, you're only down one score, need one more stop from the defense to give your offense a chance to tie the game.
Slot receiver goes in motion. Coulon takes the snap, hands off up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage. Gain of 1. Good job right there by the Turks. It's going to be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, good job by the coaches there because they've really fixed what was going on. Those gaps were so wide and big, and the running backs were running with ease and picking up 8, 10, 12-yard gains. Right now, it's difficult for them to get moving. The defense has really clamped down and stopped that inside run game for the Knights.
2nd and 9, 3 receivers far side, 1 near side. Snap. Coulon throws across the middle of the field. Well wide of his intended receiver. No flags. It's going to be 3rd and long.
We talk about momentum all the time, and you can clearly feel the momentum is on Acadiana's side right now after scoring to make it a one-score game. St. Aug pressing a little bit on their heels. Right now, a big 3rd down play if you can somehow get off the field and give the offense a chance to kind of come back and tie this football game. Something that felt like it wasn't even possible right now is if you can get off on this play.
3rd and 9. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Tight end goes in motion across the formation. Snap. Coulon rolls far side, looking downfield. Can't find anybody trying to get to the stick, but he's going to be well short by about 5 yards. It's going to be 4th and 5 at about the 40, and we're going to have to see what the Purple Knights want to do here.
Fantastic assignment discipline by everybody on defense. The secondary had everybody covered. Coulon had nowhere to go with the football, and the defensive line swarmed in on him, forced him outside, and didn't allow him to make that big gain, forcing this punt. And now the Wreckin' Rams are going to get the football with the chance to score early in the second half.
For the first time tonight, the Purple Knights are going to punt this ball away. I believe this is Miguel Whitley on to punt. He's one of those superstar receivers for St. Aug. Flag on the play. False start, you're going to back him up 5. So far, so good for the Wreckin' Rams in the second half. Things seem to be going their way, but a good punt return by Colin DeBetta, who's standing at about the 40-yard line, can go a really long way for this ball game.
Yeah, the Wreckin' Rams made the decision. Gallion was on the field for the punt earlier. After the penalty, Gallion comes off. DeBetta's in there to return the kick, so we'll see if that has an effect on what happens here.
High snap, Whitley handles it, punts it, end over end. And it takes a really big St. Aug roll. Look at this. Ball's going to go all the way down to the 16-yard line. So Miguel Whitley punts it from the 20 all the way to the opposite 16 and gets a credit on what that roll took about a 30-yard roll. Nonetheless, Veer Machine comes back on the field, and a tip of the cap once again to the terrible Turks for doing what they had to do to get off the field.
We talked about them outside of halftime, how big that was. About to go down by 3 scores. They get the turnover, get fortunate with the touchback, go into halftime only down 2 scores. The mentality of that, I don't know if Coach Dotson does that onside kick if they're down by 3 scores. Being down by 2 scores allows you to just kind of pick up some momentum, and right now it's all on the Acadiana side. The offense has to make something happen, sustain a drive, burn some clock, keep that ball out of St. Aug's hands, and find a touchdown.
Option, ball on the ground.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Fight for the football. And the Purple Knights have it. Just like that, St. Aug is going to have it 1st and goal at about the 2-yard line.
Man, that is just, I don't even know. I'm lost for words. That is just that is about as disheartening as you could possibly have after what has been a tremendous start to this third quarter, and you're right back in the football game. You're trying to find some way to sustain the drive and keep it going, and on the very first play from scrimmage, a bad pitch puts St. Aug first and goal into 2, and man, that's about as bad of an outcome as you could have. And really, we talked about momentum swinging over to Acadiana's side. It's all the way on the St. Aug side now, and the Acadiana's just dragging their head. All the work that the defense did to force that 3 and out and get you the football is gone, and St. Aug knocking on the door to punch it in, going up back 2 scores again.
30-22.
That's tough.
First and goal, shovel pass, touchdown, Purple Knights. Purple Knights are going to take a 36-22 lead pending the point after. And I mean, you said it best. I mean, it's a loss for words. You came into this game, the offense had to perform well to win it, especially against a team as talented as St. Aug, one of the best in the state, arguably maybe right up there with Edna Carr. But too many offensive blunders, not able to move the ball on the ground, and things are just starting to add up. You can't rely on your defense.
Correct.
You know.
Can't rely on your defense to stop such an explosive offense. Can't rely on the big explosive plays to be your only scoring in the football game. The Veer machine was going to have to sustain a drive. You were going to have to get the football and burn some clock, move the ball down the field, get some first downs, and that just hasn't happened for Acadiana. Yes, they do have – oh, they got a block. Yes, they do. The Acadiana does have 3 touchdowns on the board, but you know, it's been aided by these explosive plays. That's not how Acadiana wanted to stay in this football game. And again, I don't want to take the points off the board. It was earned points, and getting Travis more involved is something that needs to happen moving forward in this football game. But with the absence of the run game, the absence of where Acadiana is comfortable offensively, it's going to be tough to battle this uphill climb. You battled it, you got down by 1 score, now you're kind of restarting the game. It's a 2-score game again, and you're going to ask your defense to continue to knock down or keep this very explosive offense that St. Aug has, you know, out of the end zone. So the offense eventually is going to have to sustain one of these drives.
Got to give a shout-out to Isaiah Lavallee right there. Changed his number halfway through the season. Number 4 is usually what he wears, but he's wearing number 7 tonight. He got through the special teams line and was able to get the block right there. I want to make sure we gave Isaiah Lavallee some love. And it's 36-22, 14-point game. Like we've been mentioning, something's got to give. I need to see some kind of big return right here. You got, I believe that's Keon Leday and Travis Gallion back there, and I just got to see a big return and get momentum back. Low kick, bounces at the 10, picked up by Leday. He's across the 20, he's across the 30, he's still on his feet, pushing the pile, and he'll be just shy of the 40 at about the 37-yard line. So pretty good return right there. 1st and 10 for the Veer machine.
Yeah, it seems like we're constantly finding ourselves in this position all game long where we need a big play. You need a return to happen, a turnover, an untimely onside kick, a big busted coverage play where Gallion could break it for a big gain. Like you're not feeling comfortable with what's going on offensively. I think if Acadiana is going to come back and win this football game, at some point the Veer's going to have to do what the Veer does. They're going to have to run a 10, 12 play drive, burn 6, 7, 8 minutes off the clock, and kind of get the ball more control and control the offense.
1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 38. 2 receivers stacked on the far side. End around. False start against Acadiana.
It's not clean.
And I tell you what, Nick, if that play would have got off cleanly,
yeah,
Travis Gallion did have a pretty good lane to turn this near sideline. Unfortunately, it's for naught, and it's going to be 1st and 15.
It's all just not so clean tonight. I mean, it's been really sloppy and clunky, and it's been both quarterbacks. It's not just because Ty's in the game. Like even when Colin was in there, it just wasn't really working. Something's not clicking, and they're just not clicking on all cylinders. And now when you start first down behind the sticks, it's just really not where the offensive is effective. Now you've had some big plays with Gallion, and you if you rely on that too often, eventually, you know, it's probably not going to be a recipe for winning. But so far, when you rely on Gallion to give you those big plays, they're having some success with it.
First and 15, Lamartina under center, hands off. Kinnerson's going to get 4 yards back. It's going to be 2nd and 11.
Yeah, nice gain from Troy, but again, when you're starting at 1st and 15, now you're at 2nd and 11, and these 2nd and long situations, 2nd and behind the sticks situations is not really beneficial for Acadiana. So we'll see what they have here. It looks like they're going to be in a big set. Travis not even on the field.
Look at this, Nick. It's a trick play. It's complete to DeBetta. He's going to be down at about the 18-yard line. I tell you what, it was a weird formation, and I'm out there counting. I was like, are we in too tight? I'm thinking to myself, are we in too tight end set? Because there was only one receiver on the far side. And then Lamartina takes a 3-step drop and looks to the near sideline where I'm like, there was nobody here. And all you see is DeBetta streaking down the sideline. Just a hidden play right there, was able to sneak DeBetta off the field to the sideline.
Yeah, Colin jogged like he was coming off the field, so I thought he was not going to be on the play. And I was like, well, Colin and Travis are both out. What are we doing here? And Colin sneaks out and gets up the line for a big gain. So trick play there for the Wreckin' Rams.
We'll take it, 1st and 10. Handoff, Kinnerson. Not able to turn the corner. He's going to lose a yard. It's going to be 2nd and 11.
Yeah, I just wonder how sustainable it is in this game for you to keep relying on a trick play, a big play, an untimely turnover. Like, eventually that offense is going to have to get going. It's working so far. It's kept you in this game, but you're pulling all your tricks out, and you're still down by 2 scores. Like, eventually that veer is going to have to get going. But so far, those big plays, explosive plays, big gains have been keeping Acadiana competitive in this game.
2nd and 11. Lamartina rolls out.
Oh, he's got him.
He's got a man, but it's underthrown.
Oh.
And Colin had to play a little bit of D-back right there just to, avoid an interception. It's going to be 3rd and 11. And you're right. We both saw it. He did have a step, but the ball was underthrown, and he had to stop and come back for it.
Yeah, if that ball comes out maybe a half a second sooner, I think it's an easy touchdown for DeBetta, but Ty just held it just a little bit, hung it up in the air, and credit to DeBetta for becoming a defensive back and knocking it out of the defender's hands.
Injury down on the field, and we're going to go ahead and take a quick timeout as well. Come on back for some more WRP here on YouTube.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. 8:05 left to go in the 3rd quarter. St. Aug holding a 36-22 lead. But your Wreckin' Rams do have the ball at the 21, but they are facing a 3rd and 11. I got to go to the air here. I mean, it's the only thing that's been successful tonight. And I know you've mentioned a couple times that, eventually the veer is going to have to work if we're going to come back in this game. I'm going to be honest with you, Nick, and this is not going to be a very popular opinion. I'm the biggest component of running the football. But in the playoffs, especially against a team like St. Aug, you do what works. And what's working tonight is throwing the football. I'm almost to the point, I think I would throw it on every down if I'm being very honest with you.
Yeah, they're not able to run the football. And the idea behind running the football is because you can hold the ball for longer possession, keep that St. Aug offense off the field. That's why the run has to happen. I agree with you that the pass game has been effective. It's really the only reason why you're still in this football game. I think if you're going to win the game, you're going to have to do something to hold the ball for 6 or 8 minutes, and it's just the pass game doesn't allow you to do that. It's quick and explosive.
3rd and 11. Looking downfield, throws it across the middle of the field. It's underthrown and picked off. Ty Lamartina's pass was short of Colin DeBetta. Intercepted at the 2-yard line, and the Purple Knights will take over. Just too many turnovers tonight, and we mentioned that this offense was going to have to click from the beginning to have a chance to beat a team like St. Aug, and that just hasn't been the case. just not a very good football game offensively outside of the efforts of Travis Gallion.
Yeah, you get down in this part of the field, you really have to capitalize and score a touchdown, especially down 2 scores to St. Aug. And again, even if that play happens positively, it's explosive, but it puts the ball back into St. Aug's hands.
Handoff. Tiptoes past the 5-yard line. Actually, he's going to get all the way to the 9. Gain of 7. It's going to be 2nd and 3.
It kind of feels like what was going on early in that first half, where you were only down 2 scores, but boy, didn't it feel like you were down by so many more than 2 scores? And that's kind of how it feels right now. The body language on the sideline for Acadiana is just all the way down, and St. Aug just has all the momentum.
Handoff. Met at the line of scrimmage. Give them a gain of 2. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Those inside runs haven't been effective late in the first half and into the second half. St. Aug was having a lot of success with those plays, and the defense is kind of clamped down on that. He gets 2 yards, sets up this 3rd and 1. So if the defense can somehow force this 4th down, you're still in this football game.
3rd and 1. Toss play, far side, but he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Loses about 2 or 3, and it's going to be 4th and 4. And this is once again they're gonna have to punt this ball away. There's no way you go for it right here where they are on the field.
Yeah, I would say they're going to punt
and
the football.
They are.
And how about this terrible Turk defense again, allowing you to stay in this football game so many times, not only in this game, but this season. The defense has been the reason why you're in a game, the reason why you're stopping teams, the reason why you have a chance to win, and it's because of the defense. And you're even without your best player, and you're still having this effort on defense. They've really stepped up and done a tremendous job.
Flag on the play. I see the head referee couldn't hear the this.
I think it was a too many men.
Too many men on St. Aug.
St.
Okay.
Aug, yeah.
So too many men on St. Aug, half the distance to the goal. Ball is spotted at the 4-yard line. This is dangerous territory.
Looks like Acadiana's coming for it.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. Do what you can to get to this football. Low snap, clean punt. And a really good one, but it does take a Wreckin' Ram bounce. It's going to bounce out of bounds at about the 35-yard line, and your Veer machine will come back onto the field. What a big drive this is going to be, Nick, because it's a 2-score game. You're still in the game. As many blunders as you made, you know, the Terrible Turks have, and I've praised them for the last 20, 30 minutes, have really put the clamps on this St. Aug offense. Now it's up to your own offense to wake up and find a way to get to the end zone.
Yeah, the offense has to figure something out here to get in the end zone. And at this point, it's not about sustaining a drive. It's just about finding the end zone and putting points on the board, because the defense is keeping you in this game, but you haven't complimented them much offensively. Find a way to score right here on this drive in this great field position.
Stretch play. Kinnerson. That's the run we've been waiting for tonight. A gain of 13 will move the sticks for the Veer machine. Let's reset. Ball will be spotted at the 22. It'll be 1st and 10.
They're just never going to abandon the run, and you hope that eventually you can pop a big one, and that's what Troy does right there. Gets a nice gain, moves the sticks, and this could be that drive that we've been waiting on, where you can burn a little bit of clock and then cap it off with a touchdown and make this a 1-score game. As bad as the second half has gone, you're still only down by 2 scores.
Lamartina under center. Takes the snap, 3-step drop, looking, swings it to Gallion. It's complete. Arm fighting with the cornerback, and he'll be pushed out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. I believe it will be enough. He's right at it, but I think it's enough to move the stick.
Just having a great game, Travis is. I mean, this is by far his best game as a Wreckin' Ram. He's played extremely well, and every time you get him the ball, it seems to be a big game where he's making something happen. He's a mismatch for everything that St. Aug's trying to throw at him defensively.
They marked him a yard short, so it'll be 2nd and 1. Lamartina gets back under center. Snap, handoff up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage, but he will have enough for a Wreckin' Ram first down. It'll be 1st and 10, ball at the 11.
Man, the offense has just been stagnant all game long, and so far on this drive, they're running the football with effectiveness. They got the nice gain from Kenderson. They threw the ball to Gallion where he picks up the big gain. You run there to get the first down. It's moving the sticks and keeping the ball in your hands. The longer that it's in your hands, the less time you pass it over to Coulon and allow him to do something on offense. So Acadiana doing what it needs to do right now. You can still pick up another first down on this drive, being that it's at the 11-yard line. So this drive has to end in a touchdown.
1st and 10, ball at the 11. Gallion near side, DeBetta far side. Looking, throws it across the middle of the field. It's caught. Ty Lamartina to Colin DeBetta, and the Wreckin' Rams cut the lead to 1 score. 36-28 pending the point after.
The pass game is working, Cole, and I might be with you now. I would say you just keep running the pass game. Ty's throwing it, Colin's throwing it, Colin's catching it. The passing game is a mismatch on the outsides for what Acadiana is trying to do offensively, and they're having success with it. Keep throwing the football. Adjust that game plan. Get those playmakers on the outside and try to make something happen. Acadiana, as rough as this game has been, only down 1 score.
Snap is good. Kick is up. Kick is blocked. Still a 1-score game, but it is an 8-point ball game. 36-28 with 5:15 left to go in the 3rd quarter. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with some more WRP here on YouTube.
Uncle T's Oyster Bar in Scott is your destination for Acadiana's best local seafood.
Featuring delicious oysters, po' boys, specialty dishes, boiled crawfish, and happy hour specials.
Uncle T's across the railroad tracks in Scott.
Serving Gulf oysters just the way.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. St. Aug leads this one 36-28 with 5:15 left to go in the 3rd quarter. You mentioned it a second ago, Nick, with everything that's going on in this game, all the blunders, all the fireworks. I mean, it's been a couple of explosive plays back and forth. It's a 1-score game, and it's we still got enough time on this clock for anything to happen, especially when you have a defense that's playing as well as they are right now.
Yeah, you leaned on them in that first half, leaning on them here in the second half, and they've really answered the call and stepped up. So the defense playing great. And think about it, even without Darius McKinley in this football game, the defense playing as well as it is to kind of keep you in this football game only down 1 score. These momentum swings and momentum shifts are not going to be sustainable. Somehow, if the defense can get off the field, the Wreckin' Rams are going to have to try to put another touchdown on the board and tie this football game up, because we take the momentum, they get it back. These momentum swings are rough.
He's going to kick it deep. Brought in at the 11. Met at about the 25, tackled just shy of the 30. And the Purple Knights will have the ball 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Well, how big was it that the offense was able to score a touchdown on that drive? We talked about how the defense was playing so well and the offense wasn't really doing their part. On that drive, it was just a good classic Acadiana drive. You ran the football a couple of times, you passed the football a couple of times, and had success doing everything you needed to do. It was a balanced attack. You found the end zone with Ty to Colin. And with everything that's going wrong for you in this football game, you find yourself down only 1 score with your strongest unit on the field.
Snap, handoff up the middle. Stopped after about a gain of 3. It's going to be 2nd and 7.
Well, the defense is playing, and I tell you what, the body language after St. Aug went back up 2 scores was down after the interception that forced you down for the end zone. The body language was down. Now the body language is back up. Like, those momentum swings are so emotionally crazy where you're going up and down, and right now Acadiana's playing with some swag.
2nd and 7, 2 receivers near side. Wing to the left of the formation. Coulon throws it across the middle of the field. It's complete.
Oh no.
And it's a foot race. And just like that, another explosive play gets the Purple Knights in the end zone, and all the momentum you had goes away. It's going to be 42-28 pending the point after.
Those slant plays are giving both teams fits. I mean, Acadiana's had success with it as well, where they just give it to Gallion and on the inside, and he can bust a big one right there. St. Aug does the same thing to you, and the slant play is just really effective. I think Acadiana kind of sold out on the run there, and it just allowed him to run open over the middle and gets in the end zone. And just like that, momentum swings are absolutely crazy in this game. We've scored 28 points in this quarter. There's still 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Miguel Whitley, the electric wide receiver for the Purple Knights on that long catch and run, and They take another 2-score lead. 7 seconds on the play clock. Kick is blocked. Acadiana able to block another kick with 4:29 left to go in the third quarter, 42-28. We're going to take a break. Come on back for some more WRP here on YouTube. Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. St. Aug leading this one 42-28 with 4:29 left to go in the third quarter. And you mentioned it a second ago, so many fireworks, and we're not even, or just over halfway through the third quarter. It's been a shootout with explosive plays and blocked point afters and just one thing after another. I would love to see a big kick return. We've been calling for it a couple times tonight. Kick is away. It's going to be to Gallion. Brought in at the 10. Looking for the near sideline. He has a block, Nick. He's across the 40. He's across the 50. Cuts inside. Travis Gallion. Can he get there? The 20. The 10. Touchdown Rams. I was looking back at the middle of the field because it looked like Tyler Martina was, I don't know what he was doing. I was expecting a flag, but nonetheless, on cue, Travis the Train Gallion with a massive kick return. And what an electric third quarter of football. I'm starting to lose my breath with this track meet that we have.
Yeah, well, we saw Travis Gallion kind of make a couple of moves and find his way into the end zone and really give Acadiana the spark that they needed. We saw St. Aug do that in the first half. A kickoff return kind of sparked their ability to come back when down 14 and really turn the game around. So maybe Travis Gallion making that play right there can kind of turn everything around. We talked about it earlier where we're going to need plays that you couldn't really count on. Somebody was going to have to step up and give you a spark, make a play that wasn't in the playbook, such as a 90-something yard kickoff return. That's exactly what Gallion does. Acadiana only down 1 score.
4:15 left to go in this third quarter. 42-35. St. Aug does hold the lead. We're going to go ahead and take one quick timeout, and we'll come back with some more WRP here on YouTube.
At the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office, we believe building a strong organization starts with preparation, leverages teamwork, and harnesses the character of each individual. While using cutting-edge technologies and state-of-the-art equipment, our brave deputies are dedicated to keeping you and your loved ones safe. We're more than law enforcement. We're a team working together in service of our communities. The Acadiana Wreckin Rams know a lot about service, teamwork, and winning. When you're ready to join our championship team, come by or give us a call.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. 4:15 left to go in the third quarter. St. Aug holding a 42-35 lead in this absolute track meet. Josh Marquez back to kick this one away. And I don't know, Nick, 2 kick returns, 3 blocked extra points.
Onside kick
And we're not even in the fourth quarter. I can honestly say this is the craziest football game I've ever called. Squib kick, bounces at the 30, picked up at the 15. Blown up, wrapped up at the 25-yard line. A heck of a job by Isaiah Lavallee. And look, Nick, if you look down at this sideline, momentum has shifted back to the Wreckin Rams.
I'm very interested to see how this defense responds. So far in this game, when Acadiana was down by 2 scores and St. Aug had the ball, the defense stepped up and really answered the call. When St. Aug gets up by 1 score, it's almost like Acadiana defense takes their foot off the brake, starts to feel comfortable, and allows St. Aug to rebuild that lead to 2 scores. So with the big kickoff return from Gallion, we'll see what St. Aug has offensively and how the Acadiana defense can kind of do something to kind of get the ball back in their hands, only down 1 score.
Handoff up the middle. Keeping his feet moving, a very impressive run right there. Gets him 8 on first down. It's going to be 2nd and 2.
It's almost like when they have that 2-score cushion to get back into the game, Acadiana kind of feels pressed. Their backs are against the wall, and they do a better job. That 1-score game, they kind of relax, and St. Aug's kind of had their way once it gets to 1 score.
Handoff up the middle again. I believe this is Davis on the carry. He will have enough for the first down. Gain of 4 moves the sticks for the Purple Knights.
Man, these momentum swings have just been very emotional for the kids down there, but not only for us in the booth. I mean, we're going back and forth, and these plays are going so quickly. St. Aug's offense really explosive, and Acadiana needs to try to do a better job of getting off the field here to try to get the ball back, only down 1 score.
2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Coulon takes the snap, handoff up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage. Defensive line stands tough, no gain, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's what you want on first down. Set them up with a 2nd and long where they don't feel comfortable and have to really try to do something that hasn't really worked for them. They got one explosive play in this game, but for the most part, the passing game has been kind of stifled. The coverage has been really good in the secondary. Those runs early in the game were working for St. Aug, but so far the defense has kind of stuffed it at the end of the first half and in this 3rd quarter.
3 receivers far side, 1 near side. Coulon with the running back on his hip in the shotgun takes the snap. Going to throw it. No, he's going to tuck it and run up the middle. Tackled right away.
Tackle.
Short gain, though. We'll call it 2. It's going to be 3rd and 8.
Yeah, nice tackle by Dante Chavis. Had his assignment on the block and kind of bounced off of it. Coulon looked like he had a big game, but Chavis bounced off his blocker and made a tremendous tackle to hold him to only a gain. And now St. Aug looking at 3rd and long. This defense has answered the call so far on this drive. Get off the field here and put that ball back into Veer Machine's hands.
3 receivers far side. I believe that's Khalil Lewis, the running back in the backfield. I'm expecting some kind of rollout with Coulon right here. No, he's going to sit in the pocket and throw a slant. It's complete.
Slant.
Delayed slant route gets about 15. It's first down. Ball's going to be spotted at midfield.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm St. Aug, I go back to those slant passes. It's working for him. It's giving Acadiana fits. Those routes that the receivers are running, just Acadiana has no answer for it defensively.
1st and 10, ball of the 50.
Miscommunication on defense for Acadiana.
2 receivers near side. Run play. Breaks a tackle.
Ugh.
Keeping the feet moving. Look at this. They're pushing the pile.
Man.
Still pushing the pile. They pushed the pile for about 5 extra yards, and that's going to be good enough to move the sticks. Ball's going to be respotted at the 39-yard line, 1st and 10 Purple Knights. Got to find a way to make a stop and get the ball back to your Veer Machine, which finally has a little bit of momentum.
Correct. You can't keep trading touchdowns here, down 2 scores. You're never going to get back in this game. The defense is going to have to make a stop and give us a chance to tie the game.
Handoff up the middle. Breaks through the defensive line, tackled at about the, seems like a gain of 9. It's going to be 2nd and 1. I believe that's Khalil Lewis on the carry. They have a running back that wears 25 and a running back that wears 24, and it's always tough to tell them apart. But a good run right there, and that's one thing that Acadiana's done well lately is stop that inside run. Just not doing it on this drive, Nick. Snap, handoff. Breaks through the defensive line once again. It will be enough to move the sticks. Ball's going to be spotted at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, I think we knew that St. Aug was going to be explosive. We knew they were going to put up a bunch of points. I expected it to be more in the air. The run game has really impressed me with what the Purple Knights are doing. They've run the ball with a lot of success tonight, and Acadiana's had trouble stopping it.
Coulon looks to the sideline for a play. 1 receiver to each side of the formation. A wing to the left of the formation. I believe that's Khalil Lewis in the backfield. Takes the snap. Gonna swing it. It's picked off! Keon Leday picks it off!
Wow, what a tremendous play from Keon Leday. Gets up to the high point and catches the football. And when you need somebody to make a big play, Keon comes up with that interception, and that's what you needed. Nothing really working defensively for Acadiana. St. Aug was running the football at will, getting those yards that they weren't getting early in the game. Acadiana gets a big interception from Keon Leday, and now the Veer Machine has the football. This is the opportunity for them to answer right here and tie this football game deep into your own territory. Have an opportunity to burn that clock that Coach Dotson wanted to do and get yourself in the end zone.
I just gotta laugh, Nick. What an emotional roller coaster up here in the booth. St. Aug's being methodical, running it down the field, and then just like that, an interception, and Acadiana has all the momentum. Handoff up the middle. Gain of 2. It's going to be 2nd and 8. We're not even we're about to be. The fourth quarter is literally about to start. This is an emotional roller coaster up here, but we're having fun with the crew.
Tremendously entertaining third quarter, and really, if you'd have told me that Acadiana was going to have the football heading into the fourth quarter, down only one score, I wouldn't have believed you. But yet here we are. We're going into the fourth quarter. Fours are up for Acadiana. One score football game in Acadiana with the football. I think we would have taken this if you'd have given us this at the beginning of the game.
Ram Nation, put your fours up. We go into the fourth quarter. St. Aug holds a 42-35 lead, but your Veer machine has the ball with a chance to go down and tie this ball game. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll bring you some fourth quarter action here on WRP. Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium, City Park, New Orleans, Louisiana. St. Aug holding a 42-35 lead, but your Wreckin' Rams have the ball. Let's reset. It's going to be 2nd and 7, ball at the 25.
If you remember in that game against Edna Carr a couple of years ago, it was a similar position. I know Acadiana had the lead in that game, but they really leaned on the Veer to burn a lot of clock. That's what you got to do. Burn the clock here, get in the end zone, and don't allow St. Aug a whole lot of time in this football game.
Two receivers near side. They're going to throw it. Lamartina rolls out, throws it short. It's complete to DeBetta, who's tackled right away, but it's a gain of about 5, and it's going to be third. Man, they're going to give him 6. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, it's a good pass play right there by Lamartina to get the ball. Again, you're going to have to do something to keep the ball out of the offense's hands. So a quick strike right here. Obviously, you want to score any way you can, but somehow you're going to have to try to control that clock and not allow St. Aug those opportunities with the football.
I'm going to openly say it. I expect a run here. 3rd and 2. Handoff of the middle, met at the line of scrimmage. Keeps his feet moving, though, but he didn't get it.
I don't think he got it.
Going to be a yard short. It's going to be 4th and 1. You know what? 4-down territory got to be. You got to trust your offense. Got to.
It's a tough spot right now, and you've leaned on the defense so much. You would think that eventually it's gonna break for the defense. So I would let the offense try to get this. The offense is gonna have to try to complement what the defense has done to keep you in this football game. This is a big spot right here for the offense.
Here we go, folks. 4th and 1. Hard count, nothing.
Good
QB
play.
keeper. And Ty Lamartina calls his own number and dives forward for a first down. Great play call, I agree, Nick.
Perfect play call, especially right after the hard count to get right under center and push forward to that first time. Great play call, great execution by Ty, and Acadiana keeps this drive going.
1st and 10, ball at the 34-yard line. 10:35 left to go in this ball game. Acadiana trying to get down the field and tie this ball game up. One receiver to each side of the formation. Snap. Rolls out. He's got a man.
No.
Led him a little too far, and it's knocked away, incomplete. Hold your breath on that one because that was a 50-50 jump ball between the safety and Colin DeBetta.
Yeah, I was hoping they would have led him more to the outside, but instead he led him to the center, and you saw the safety there. He did have the corner beat, but I saw the safety the whole way. When the ball went in the air, it hung in the air. I thought the safety was going to make a play on it, but Acadiana gets fortunate on that pass.
2nd and 10. One receiver to each side of the formation. Handoff. Kennerson.
Good
Kennerson!
play. Oh, perfect play.
Across the 30! He is gone!
Cole, I'm going to tell you right now, nobody in this stadium thought they were going to run the football right there. That was the perfect play call. St. Aug was playing the pass the whole way. Kennerson busted for a big gain, and Acadiana ties the football game. Absolutely tremendous play call and execution from the Wreckin' Rams.
Don't put your eggs in the basket yet, Nick. I've seen way too many block kicks. 42-41 pending the point after.
That is true. That is true.
I'm not letting you put that. Listen, and guys, we are really having fun up here with our WRP crew. We have a pretty nice, spacious broadcasting room, and all the kids, all the students that do this, they're enjoying themselves. Marquez on the kick. Flag on the play.
Oh, my.
I got to kick it. I got to kick it. What are you thinking, Nick?
Woo.
What are you thinking, Nick? I gotta tie the game. It's the fourth quarter. I got to tie it.
Yeah, it's probably the right call. But, you know, Acadiana goes for it almost every single time when this happens.
No
Obviously,
doubt.
not in a spot this big, but it looks like Josh is staying on the field, and he's going to kick it.
And I agree with that. I fully agree with that. Taking the lead right now with still 10 minutes left is not as important as tying the game.
That's right. Come on, Josh.
Snap is high. Kick is up. Kick is good. And with 10:05 left to go in this ball game, we got a brand new ball game deadlocked at 42. We're going to take a break and bring you some more football here on WRP.
At Southern Classic Chicken, we take pride in serving the freshest, seasoned, and marinated hand-breaded fried chicken. It's so good, it's wrong. Add in tasty sides like our zesty Cajun seasoned fries, savory red beans and rice, or sweet corn grits. Drive through today and pick up a family box or one of our classic combos and enjoy a true Southern classic. Oh, and don't forget the pepper.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. 10:05 left to go in this ball game. We're deadlocked at 42. After everything that has gone on in this ball game, Acadiana has found their way to claw back however necessary. And like you mentioned, a credit to Troy Kennerson Jr. with the biggest run of the night for the Veer Machine to tie this ball game up. What a track meet that we have. Sky kick. Bounces at the 20. It's caught. Tries to switch field. He does have a lane. But he's going to be tackled by Keon Leday just past the 40-yard line, maybe at the 42. And the Purple Knights are going to have it 1st and 10.
Yeah, let's talk about Troy Kennerson and his ability to buzz those big runs. If you remember back to week 1, that Ruston game that went so nasty for Acadiana, that one touchdown that Acadiana had was a big play from Kennerson. He has that knack to find it in the biggest moment and find a touchdown on a big play. So Troy gets a big play there to get you in this football game and tie it up for the Wreckin' Rams. And you're right. You know, we're talking about all the stuff that's going wrong for Acadiana. There's been a lot of mistakes on St. Aug's side. An interception, a couple of fumbles, some miscues offensively that they've had. And neither team has really played a clean game. And yet we sit here with 10 minutes to play and a tie football game.
Got to lean on the Terrible Turks one more time, but I have a feeling they don't mind that, Nick. 1st and 10. Snap. This is Noble. Noble in the football game. Like we saw earlier, he's lined up at receiver. He's lined up at running back. He is their backup quarterback. They opt to bring Noble in some sort of wildcat situation. Only gets a gain of 1. It's going to be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, we can't say enough about what his defense has done. Adjusted to what St. Aug was doing offensively, where they had so much success. They've adjusted and kind of stifled what they were doing and really kept Acadiana in this game.
Wing goes in motion to the right of the formation. Coulon takes this snap. He's going to hand it off of the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage, but breaks a tackle. Keeping his feet moving, but it's only going to be a short gain. Give him 2, and it's going to be 3rd and 6.
Those inside runs that were working so well for St. Aug early in this game have dried up. The defense has clamped down the center of the football field, stepped up, and made those plays that eliminated that aspect of what St. Aug was trying to do and kind of made them one-dimensional.
3rd and 6. 3 receivers near side. 1 far side. Timeout, St. Aug. Timeout down on the field, and we're going to take a timeout as well. 8:54 left to go in this ball game. Come on back with some more WRP here on YouTube.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the certainty of this delivery.
This team will make a push in January.
Absolutely, they're still in it.
But getting that delivery.
What do you think, Johnny?
How do you know my name?
You're wearing a name tag.
Oh, yeah. 2-second rule?
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. 8:54 left to go in the ball game. 42-42. and the Purple Knights have the ball, but it's a 3rd and 6 situation.
Find a way to get off the field here and put the ball back in the offense's hands. It would be such a big moment right here. The first time that Acadiana would have an opportunity to take the lead in the game since they went up 14 early. The defense has played so well, asking them one more time to keep you in this game.
2 receivers near side, 1 far side. Kula in the backfield. Keeps it himself, throws it deep. He's got a man one-on-one, and it's caught. One of the most impressive catches that you'll see by Miguel Whitley. 1st and goal, Purple Knights.
Man, Whitley dove all the way with every inch of his body, fingertip caught that ball. Not a very well thrown ball. It was kind of overthrown, but the individual effort from Whitley hauls it in, and St. Aug's in business here in the red zone.
Handoff up the middle. Sidesteps the defender. Gain of 5 will put him inside the 5 at the 4. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate because Acadiana really hasn't been burned on an explosive play down the field. They got burned on a couple of slant passes, but that's really the first time that we saw Coulon put it in the air on the outside, and then Whitley dives for it, catches it with his fingertips. Acadiana played that really well. He just found the one-on-one coverage that beat the defender and put the ball where only Whitley could get it, and he comes up with a tremendous play.
2nd and goal, ball at the 4. 2 receivers near side. Snap, handoff up the middle. Finds a lane, walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Purple Knights.
So much different feel, though, as they only go up by 1 score, where you feel like the offense has kind of figured some things out and maybe they can kind of trade those touchdowns. The defense is going to have to eventually get a stop. But, you know, with the defense, we've talked about the defense being leaned on all year long and really all game long. Eventually, you know, those things are going to crack, and St. Aug's going to find those holes. I think that's what happened on that drive there where the kid just made a tremendous play and got St. Aug down there to score a touchdown. But the defense has really kept you in this game. Eventually, the offense is going to have to do their thing and kind of get you back in it.
A note worth making, Acadiana has blocked 2 extra points tonight. Snap. Kick, up, kick, good. Flag on the play.
I think it's going to be roughing.
See if they want to enforce it on the kickoff. I believe that's what's going to happen. Both teams are clearing off the field. No official call yet, just waiting for the signal.
Well, look, the offense is going to take the football and have an opportunity to tie the football game. We saw him do that earlier. We saw Kinnerson break the big run, and there's 7 minutes left to go in this game. I think if the Acadiana can have its opportunity to score a touchdown here, if you don't leave a whole lot of time on the clock, I wouldn't mind going for 2. Now, of course, you got to get to that point, but there's 7 minutes and 54 left on this game, and we just saw St. Aug have the ability to score with an explosive play and get down the field. So the Acadiana offense has made some adjustments. The game plan so far in the second half has worked, passing it a more balanced approach. Those passes are really setting up the run and what Acadiana wants to do. But with 7:54 in the game, might be too early to go for 2. But if you were able to sustain a drive and burn the clock and get down there with the way this game was going, I think you probably put the game into balance there.
And we're not even taking into account, Nick, they still got to kick this ball off to Travis Gallion, who had an electric kick return earlier. You know, at this point, there's been so many fireworks, so many things unexpectedly happen, so many tides that have turned. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. If you're St. Aug here, what do you do in this special teams? Because you tried kicking it deep, and he burned you for it. If you kick it short, you got Lamartina and, you know, capable guys that are going to bring it back well within the 30, 40-yard mark to you know, have good field position. The special teams tonight for the Rams has created a conundrum for the St. Aug unit.
Yeah, I think St. Aug is going to be aided by that 15-yard penalty. So if he gets a good boot on it, it should go into the end zone and force the touchback. But if not, you know, you allow Travis to have an opportunity to do something big.
They're going to squib this, and it takes a high hop to Lamartina. Looking for a lane. He's going to be stopped just short of the 30. They're going to spot him at about the 28. And here comes the veer machine.
Man, there's so much time left in this football game. 7 minutes and 49 seconds to go. You don't want a quick strike. You would love to burn some of that clock. And again, I've been talking about it all game long. I think if Acadiana is going to win this football game, eventually they're going to have that long drive. I don't think if you get into a shootout, a quick strike, going back and forth with St. Aug, that's advantageous for you to win. It could happen, but I think if it's going to happen, if Acadiana is going to win this game, I think at some point you're going to have to burn a bunch of clock, and maybe this is the drive they do it.
Well, here we go. 1st and 10, ball at the 27. Snap, handoff. Deion Simon trying to twist his way, but I believe it'll be only a gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, ran into his own lineman there, and then by that point, the defense had converged on him, didn't get a big gain on first down. But the way this game is going, right, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're out of it. Acadiana has passed in this down situation and found Travis on the outside and made some big plays, so everything's kind of open. Acadiana just trying to do anything they can to get in the end zone here.
2nd and 9, ball at the 28. DeBetta, the far side receiver. Gabriel DeQueer on the near side. Hard count, nothing doing. Lemastina, ball's on the ground. I believe he jumped back on it. We'll have to wait and see. Players on both teams pointing both ways. Acadiana's going to keep the football.
Yeah, the defender.
A weird situation because the defender for St. Aug came up with it, but I believe while they were on the ground, he took it out of the arms of the Acadiana player. So Acadiana fortunate right there, but it is going to be a 3rd and 9.
Offense had been kind of clean recently up to this point, but a fumble there, which has really been something that's plagued them all year long. So you're going to have to try to get a clean snap here and make something happen on 3rd down. This is the situations in this game so far where you've relied on Travis Gallion to come up big and make a play in the slant route or on the outside, and you see Travis running back in this game. So I would expect St. Aug to clamp them down, and if they do, what can Ty do with the ball to try to find someone else and make this happen?
Got to come up big one more time. 3-step drop, looking, being chased. Face mask. It's going to be a 1st down for the veer machine.
Yeah.
Troy Kinnerson is down on the ground right here at about the 15.
Yeah, St. Aug makes the play to stop him, but gets the face mask, and so they should get the 1st down on the penalty. And we see Troy Kinnerson down. Not sure exactly what it is, but that would be a tremendous loss to the end of this game.
Troy able to get up, and he's going to limp off on his own power.
That's not what we want to see right there, Cole. He's having trouble putting weight on the foot. We talk about Troy Kinnerson all the time and how much he means to this offense, how big he can be, how much he can explode and make those big plays and take a run to the house. And, you know, with Troy out, you're going to rely on Simon and Joseph. We saw Joseph in this drive already put the ball on the ground. So Kinnerson allows you or gives you that aspect that when he's out, we saw it happen in the STM game. Once he'd been out, it became a different offense. And with Kinnerson out, we'll see what these other running backs can do to pick up the slack.
1st and 10, handoff to Deion Simon. Trying to turn the corner, keeping his feet moving. Give him a gain of 2. It's going to be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, that's not a bad gain. Not a bad play right there. Kind of like it was going to be busted, and yet he busted outside and gets a few more yards than I thought he was. They gave him a really bad spot. I thought he had got maybe 2 or 3 yards instead. Yeah, they're moving the stick there. Yeah, he got a nice gain right there. So, you know, just kind of keep that moving. This is not bad. You want that clock to tick down. You don't want to give St. Aug an opportunity to get the ball back. So just keep moving the sticks, keep driving the ball down the field, find a touchdown to tie this game and see what happens with not a lot of time on the clock.
2nd and 8. Gallion near side, DeBetta far side. Snap, 3-step drop. Hitch play in and out of the hands of Colin DeBetta.
Man, execution. Like, you find a play like that, that's going to be a nice gain. That's going to set you up for about a 3rd and short. You're going to at least be at 3rd and 3. Maybe even he breaks a tackle and gets the 1st down and he just drops the ball. Those executions where you're drawing up the right plays and you're just not executing has really been a dagger so far on this offense. A couple of big plays kind of got stifled by not able to catch the ball. That was a nice play call. That was a nice throw from Ty. Collins got to come up with that.
3rd and 8. Ball at the 44. 3-step drop, looking.
Oh, he ran right into it.
And he's sacked.
He just moved into the pocket right into where the defender was. He kept his eyes down the field. The coverage was great for St. Aug. Nobody really open, and Ty just runs right into the defender and goes down. Acadiana's going to have to punt.
Big time loss. Acadiana's going to have to punt. And the clock's winding down, only about 5 minutes left in this ball game.
It's fun to be in these shootout type games. It's fun to get these big explosive plays. It's just not where Acadiana's bread and butter. When you get into one of these games, the advantage is on the other side. This is what St. Aug does every week. They love this type of game. This is not where Acadiana's comfortable.
Marquez's punt is away. Bounces at the 40 and takes a Wreckin' Ram roll. Ball's going to be spotted at the 35-yard line, and with 4:43 left to go in this ball game, you got to call on the Terrible Turks to stand tall one more time.
And they've done it. They've done it, right? I mean, you're looking at the scoreboard and you're like, what are they talking about? The defense is playing well. They have 49 points on the board. Well, it doesn't really tell the story because a lot of those points came in the first half. The defense has adjusted at the end of the first half, into the second half, and really the reason why you're in this game. The offense, kind of struggled at the beginning, made some things, changed up what they were doing. If you executed a few more plays, it might be different. So once again, asking your defense to come up big, and they've answered the call so far. In multiple games, they've answered the call. They've answered the call multiple times tonight. They got to answer it one more time. Keep St. Aug out of this end zone and give the offense a chance to do something big.
Two receivers far side. Snap, handoff up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage, but he's keeping those feet moving. Isaiah Lavallee puts a stop to that after a gain of 1. It's going to be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, I would say right now St. Aug's playing that clock game, the 4:34, 4:33. They're watching it tick down. They're going to keep the ball on the ground. They've had success running the football a little bit tonight, and it wouldn't be shocking if they were able to pick up a couple of first downs and ice this game. So I'd be really surprised if they pass the ball before it's time to pass the ball, before it's an obvious passing down. I think they're just going to keep the ball and run that clock.
2nd and 9. Two receivers far side. Ten seconds on the play clock. Takes the snap. Handoff, trying to turn the corner on the near side. He's not going to. They're going to mark him for a loss, Nick. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
Defense stepping up again. I mean, you're asking them so many times to do this, and they're answering the call. You just can't say enough about the defense. You look at that scoreboard and see those 49 points, and you think the defense didn't have a good game, but they really had a great game. St. Aug's got a couple of short fields, a big kickoff return, and that's really why the scores kind of got out of hand. But this defense has clamped down in the second half and stopped any running attack that St. Aug had.
3:30 left to go in the ball game. 3rd and 10. Three receivers far side, one to the near side. Coulon all alone in the backfield, and they're going to have to take a timeout. Something was not right down there. Seemed like a miscommunication on offense. And I tell you what, Nick, let's go ahead and take a short timeout ourselves. Come on back for some more WRP here on YouTube.
At Southern Classic Chicken, we take pride in serving the freshest, seasoned, and marinated hand-breaded fried chicken. It's so good, it's wrong. Add in tasty sides like our zesty Cajun seasoned fries, savory red beans and rice, or sweet corn grits. Drive through today and pick up a family box or one of our classic combos and enjoy a true Southern classic. Oh, and don't forget the pepper.
Welcome back to Tad Gormley Stadium. 49-42, St. Aug holds the lead in this one, but they're faced with a 3rd and 9. Can the Terrible Turks come through one more time?
Man, it's so tough to ask them to do it so often, but man, they've really answered the call. I've been so impressed by what they've done in the second half to make those adjustments and stop what St. Aug was doing. It was so easy offensively for St. Aug. The Purple Knights seemed to be doing whatever they wanted, a well-balanced attack, scoring points in that first half. The second half has been a lot different. It's been a lot tougher for St. Aug trying to do.
Three receivers far side, one near side. Coulon all alone in the shotgun. Drops back to pass, looking, throws it across the middle of the field, wide open man.
Ugh.
Completed the 30, still moving, tackled at the 20-yard line. Another explosive play, flips the field. And we're going to be under 3 minutes here shortly. That's a backbreaker.
Yeah, the middle of the football field has just been a wreck for Acadiana, and that slant pass has been effective for what they're doing offensively. They took away the run game, but they still had a little bit of success with the pass game, and that is a backbreaker. That's going to allow them to burn this clock to within 2 or 1 minute. It's going to be really tough for Acadiana to get an opportunity here.
First and 10, ball at the 20.
It's one of those things where you lean on the defense so much you feel like eventually they'll tire out and wear out, and I think that's kind of what we're getting to here at the end of the game.
Run up the middle.
Yeah.
And St. Aug's going to take a 2-score lead. Khalil Lewis on a 20-yard touchdown run, and it's 55-42. Pending the point after.
Unfortunately, I think it just got the best of them trying to get into this track meet, this shootout. Acadiana did everything they could to stay in the game. They pulled out all the trick plays and onside kicks, and got an interception, got a kickoff return. Really played a good football game. But when you get into one of these shootouts with a team that's used to scoring 40, 45 points, 50 points a game every single week, it's just not the football game that Acadiana wanted to play, not the game plan that they had going in. Put up a good fight, but eventually St. Aug proved to be too much.
Yeah, keep in mind, folks, and I mentioned it in the pregame, St. Aug has scored 46 points in 7 games this season. Extra point is blocked.
Of course.
That's the 4th of the night. And it's 55-42 with 2:40 left to go in the ball game. I mean, just it's
been a really odd game with a bunch of odd things that have happened, and Acadiana obviously it's not insurmountable for them to be able to come back here, but it does seem a bit grim. And I think that you look at this effort at what happened tonight, jumping out to the 14-point cushion ahead, and then allowing 28 unanswered. You could have hung your head right there, and you didn't. You fought all the way back. You tied this football game in this 4th quarter, and really had an opportunity to take the lead, and just wasn't able to do it. Again, this is not the type of game that Acadiana is advantageous, and not the type of game that they want to play and have an opportunity to win. This is the type of game that St. Aug wants to play, and that's why the scoreboard kind of shows what it does.
Well, I could say this, Nick. If there was ever a time for a big kick return, it's right now, because Acadiana's going to have to score quick some kind of way. And I do want to point this out. If the scoreboard is correct, Acadiana does have all 3 timeouts. So if you could score very quickly, you're not out of the game. But it is a very tall task.
Yeah. In this type of game, though, crazy things have happened in this game.
Crazy things happen every minute of this game.
Yes.
Ball's going to bounce at the 30, and it's picked up. Going to be tackled at about the 36-yard line, and that's where the veer machine will have it. 1st and 10. Weird kickoff, just kind of toe punched it to the second line, but a good job, by picking it up. I believe that was number 20, Taylor Nolan, the sophomore linebacker, able to stop it on that first bounce and get what he could. But as I mentioned, you got to score very quickly. You got to air it out. There's no more running the football, of course.
Got to put it in the air. Got to spread the offense out. Get your playmakers on the outside and let them do what they're going to do, right? We've seen some plays so far this season where when you're forced to put the ball in the air, they make something happen. We've seen 3 very explosive plays from Travis Gallion in this game where he scored a touchdown. So Tyler Martinez in. Looks like you got your 2 receivers to the near side. Like, let's see what they draw up here.
1st and 10. Swings it. DeBetta. It's a trick play! And it's picked off.
Hung it up too long, Cole.
Coming back across the 40. Knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Flag on the play. I believe this might be a late hit. And, I don't mind the play call, and you said it perfectly. The pass just hung up a little too long.
Yeah, the play call was actually brilliant. And Simon was wide open going down the line. He just hung it up there a little too high. And, when you rely on those types of plays, trick plays, fooling the defense, like they pulled out all the stops, and they've done this so many times. And they've had some success with a few plays, but it's not a way that you're going to really, have a successful football game. It's not a way that you can win a game. And on that play right there, Colin, if maybe he gets an extra second to pass the ball, maybe he doesn't air it out. But it just hung in the air too long, and the defender came down with it. And it looks like St. Aug's going to come away with a hard-fought win. But, Acadiana fought their tails off. A tremendous effort. I don't think you should hang your head by this effort. It's just you never got that drive that you needed offensively to burn enough clock to not allow St. Aug the opportunity to get the ball. I think if you get that one drive, if it happens just one time in this football game, I think Acadiana wins. It just never happened.
2:24 left to go in the ball game. 55-42. St. Aug firmly in control of this one inside the red zone. I'd be shocked if they put the ball in the air at any time. Handoff up the middle. Gain of 1. It's going to be 2nd and 9.
Go back to that previous play. It was a really smart play by Acadiana, and they had him. Simon was open.
Flag on the play in the middle of the field, Nick.
You did have to open it up. You did have to spread and get a quick play. And the defense converged on the better when he got the ball. Simon was open, just didn't play. And there's been multiple plays in this game where if the kids would have just executed what was called, you'd have had bigger gains and had more success. And the execution was just a little poor. Look, it's a big game, big environment. That band over there is affecting the game. They play for 4 quarters nonstop. They're loud, and they do their job at affecting this football game. And I'm not saying that's the reason why Acadiana lost, obviously, but it's just a factor. This is a big-time environment, and Acadiana made their share of plays. It's just, I think if you get into the game that you want to play, where you do have that drive where you just control and knock minutes off the clock, slowly but surely driving down the field, I think you're more in control of the game. Instead, you got into this shootout where you have these quick strikes going back and forth, and that played right into what St. Aug wanted to do.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Rams is going to be half the distance. I do not believe it is enough for a first down. From what I'm seeing, it looks like 2nd and 1. I don't know if the sticks are correct because they're holding 1 stick and they got 1 down. Nonetheless, ball's going to be at the 8-yard line. Clock is running here. 1:50 left to go in the ball game. And they're going to milk it all the way down to as low as it can go. Keep in mind, and I said it, Acadiana does have 3 timeouts, but being down 2 scores. Handoff up the middle. Spot him at the 5-yard line. And that'll be enough to move the sticks. So it'll be 1st and goal, ball at the 5.
Yeah, I think that's going to be enough for St. Aug to take a couple of knees and burn this clock. But Cole, let's go back to the end of that first half where St. Aug was about to go up by 3 scores, get the ball out of halftime. It looked so glum and grim. It didn't seem like Acadiana had any chance to be in this football game. It just seemed like St. Aug was going to run away with it, and that's not what happened. I think as a Wreckin' Ram fan, you can be very proud of the way the team played, the way they responded. The coaches pulled out every stop in the book, every play, onside kick, everything that they could do to win this football game, and just came up a little bit short. But the effort tonight was tremendous, and I think a lesser team would have maybe hung their head and not given that effort. That's not what happened with this Acadiana Wreckin' Ram football team. So immensely proud of the effort that they gave in the second half to come back, tie the game, have an opportunity to get the lead. Like, it's just been a tremendously played football game, and in the end, St. Aug was just a little too much.
Yeah, and I love what you say about effort. The effort was there tonight. They did everything they could to try to hang with this electric offense, and like you said a couple of times, it's just not the style of offense that we play. We're running the ball, take care of the clock, really play keep away, and that's just not how it's been. Credit to the Veer machine, actually, for hanging 42 on a very talented St. Aug team. This is no slouch. To say you scored 42 points against St. Aug is impressive. Coulon's going to keep it himself, dives into the end zone, flag on the play. Flag on the play in the area of holding. Have to wait and see what the call is. But just to finish my point, and it is going to be against St. Aug, just to finish the point, you gave everything you could at St. Aug. You threw everything you had at them, and you know what? A credit to them. Tip the cap to the Purple Knights. They, took every punch that you gave them and just punched a little bit harder. They're going to come away with a well-earned victory, but you made them earn it. You could have, like you mentioned, you could have ducked your head and just bowed out at the end of at the halftime when you were, down 30-14, I believe. But you came back, you got the onside out the gate, and you were able to just chip away and fight. It was tied up at 42, and that's all you can ask for. You gave yourself a chance in the fourth quarter, just didn't have enough gas to take the lead, and luck just wasn't on your side.
Coaches are out on the field. I'm not sure what's going on.
They went ahead and ran the clock.
There you go. Gotcha.
They went ahead and ran the clock, folks. And your final score in this one, the St. Aug Purple Knights 55, your Acadiana Wreckin' Rams 42. Nick, me and you talked a lot about standards and, the success of this season. And, we had a very rough 0-3 start against 3 very worthy opponents. Then you rattle off 8 straight. You go 8-3. You beat all of your rivals, including Karen Crow twice, including Southside, including Lafayette High. And then you win the District 3-5A outright. In the terms of Acadiana football and the standards that we set, this was a successful season. You took care of your rivals. You won an outright district championship undefeated. Now, that one last goal that, that Acadiana always wants to get to, practicing on Thanksgiving, getting to that quarterfinal round, that's not going to happen this year. But it's because you ran into a very talented St. Aug team, which is arguably one of the top 3 teams in the entire state in any classification. So, and I just said it, you gave them everything they can handle. You hung 42 on a very good St. Aug team, and but like you mentioned so many times, they're just built for these kind of games. They're built for shootouts. They've scored 46 points 7 times this season. They are comfortable in this environment, and this, Acadiana did what they could, but unfortunately, we are not comfortable playing that football.
I think you put it the best way where you made them earn it. They had to earn it. It was 42-42 in the fourth quarter. You had an opportunity to take the lead in the football game. You made St. Aug earn this. They're going to feel the effects of this game next week. They didn't come in and walk all over Acadiana, which I know a lot of people across the state, even a lot of people in this fan base, thought was going to happen. And that's not what happened. Acadiana should not be hanging their heads at all. They played a tremendous football game and put forth a great effort. And one thing I want to say about Coach Doug Dotson, I mean, he took a lot of flack in those early parts of the season, the 0-3 start, people thinking, was it the right move? Was he the right man for the job? And all he did was steady that ship, kept it going right, got an undefeated district championship, a first-round playoff win. I mean, it's a first year. He's a first-year head coach in this system at this school, playing football games in a stadium named after his dad. Like, just imagine the pressure that this man is under, and all he's done was keep that steady hand all year long and get this ship kind of righted. I think he set a good tone for what the Doug Dotson era is going to be. By the way, this season ended with that undefeated district championship, a first-round playoff win. Obviously, we want to be playing in the Dome. We want to be playing further down the road. I think that's going to come. I think there was maybe some doubt if that could come. I think Doug Dotson can make this happen. I think he is the right man for the job now after the way the second half of this season went. And so a tremendous effort for this season, a tremendous effort in this game. And I think you can be proud as a Wreckin' Ram fan for the way this season ended up and the way this game played out.
Also want to say thank you to the senior football players up and down this roster. We got a lot of them, so I won't be able to go name by name, but we want to thank these senior football players for everything that they've given this program. As a former football player myself, I understand the grind that it is being a student athlete here. Grueling practices, got to turn around, go home and do homework, A lot of blood, sweat, and tears go into being a Wreckin' Ram football player, but I had a lot of fun watching this group this year, and most of which was because of the growth that we saw throughout the year. This team that you saw tonight is a completely different ball club than we saw week 1 against Ruston, and that is a credit to the coaching staff. That's a credit to the senior leadership that was on this team. We're going to miss a lot of these seniors that really played their tails off all year long, and again, I just got to say, thank you to those seniors that gave it their all to the Wreckin' Rams. Thank you to their families, their moms, their dads, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas. Thank you to all of you for everything you've done for this program. And like I said, this season overall, you've set the standard. Or not set the standard, you lived up to the standard. You are an undefeated district champion. That is the standard of Acadiana football. This is not a season to hang your head about. You did a great job, and I would be remiss if we got off the air with telling those seniors thank you. Nick, I tell you what, not much more to say here. It was a roller coaster of the game. Could we have played a cleaner game? Absolutely. Lots of turnovers. We talked about it. Offense didn't run the ball well enough. Turned the ball over one too many times. Just didn't give ourselves enough chances. And there's going to be a lot of what-ifs when you look back on it. But overall, a competitive football game. Definitely the most memorable football game that I've called up to this point, being in the booth with you. What an emotional roller coaster. I've never called anything like this in my life.
I think we talked about it in the pregame. We really talked about it all game long. Acadiana needed to get that one classic Acadiana drive where they held the ball, burned 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, ended it with a touchdown. They just never got that. I think if they get that one time, they just needed one drive, I think it switches how this game played out. you were trading scores with a team that's used to trading scores and just wasn't very comfortable for where you were, and eventually St. Aug did what they did and took over. But again, like we've said, not much more to say. I'm extremely proud of what this team did, extremely proud of how this season ended, and I think bigger and better things are to come under Doug Dotson in this program.
Well, one last thing I got to say is to my Ram Nation, thank you once again for tuning in to Wreckin' Ram Productions. You've stuck with us all year long. We've evolved so much as a production class. You know, last year we joked about it. We were doing away games with cell phones and mics off of Amazon, and now it's grown into the production that you see tonight. And it's held together by a great group of kids, a great group of students, and I'm going to roll through them real quick. Miss Lainey Mitchell, Fong Nguyen, Tyler Cox, Ava Fatno, Mamdu Kahaye, Jalpesh Patel, Jinnu Patel, Maddie Marsh, and Dante Lipshaw. That is a couple of the students that do the commercial work, camera work, and all the dirty work, setting up, tearing down, whatever that is asked of them, they do it. And they've been a great group of kids to really get to know this year. We have a lot of fun with them, and they're led by our audio producer, Mr. Denny Edwards, our video producer, Mr. Bradley Gayo, Alex Abear, who is our sideline reporter, is not here tonight, but I also want to give Miss Alex a shout out. It's been fun, Nick. It's been another successful season for Acadiana football. So my name's Cole Gilbo, your play-by-play man. On the side of me, my good friend and broadcast partner, Nick Fatno, and looking forward to next season already. But as always, I'm going to say this, folks, always remember, once a Ram, always a Ram. Good night, Ram Nation. Good job, guys.